Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We're seeing North American stock futures back in positive territory ever so slightly at this point. Actually coming back towards that break-even mark as we sit here now. We had the big sell-off Monday to start the new week on fresh concerns over spiking COVID-19 cases globally. Tech shares back in focus this morning. The AMD Xilinx deal that was rumored going back a couple weeks, now complete. $35 billion all-stock deal being announced this morning. We'll have a look at both of those stocks coming up. Monday, we saw turn to the south side in a big way. Dow down 600 at the end of the day on concerns over a lack of stimulus out of Washington still and spiking COVID-19 cases. As we mentioned, double blow for Eli Lilly shares this morning. They're in negative territory after missing with their latest quarterly earnings and their antibody treatment for COVID-19 failing in a late-stage trial. So we'll have a look at LLY coming up as well. Lots of earnings to get through as well. Microsoft on deck tonight. AMD also reporting, was supposed to be aftermarket tonight, but earnings out with this announcement this morning. It's Tuesday, October 27th, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at Asian markets from the overnight session. You can see a mixed showing here. India, the only one in positive territory. Let's go over to Europe, see how things are shaping up. Pretty red right across the board. We'll shift over to North America next and see a bit of a mixed story as well. Yeah, still in positive territory for U.S. markets, but ever so slightly at this point. TSX futures here in Toronto in negative territory. Look at Bitcoin. Again, 2.8% to the upside this morning. Crude oil back in positive territory. Gold to the downside so far this morning. We are in the thick of earnings. Guys, good morning. As we were mentioning at the end of the show yesterday, lots to get to this morning. AMD out early. We have the deal with Xilinx done. Yep. $35 billion, all stock still. No stimulus, though.
Well,
not coming.
Yeah, I mean, come on. At this point, give up on that. Look, AMD putting more pressure on Intel there. And, obviously a big deal. This is in the works, and we all knew this was potentially coming. Now we have some details. The early release of the earnings was like the cherry on the cake because they get an all-stock deal, trades to the downside, look for a bottom pick. That's usually the play. But then they go ahead and release their earnings, so you get the bounce already happening. I didn't want to miss what was a missed opportunity in Duncan when it bounced off the bottom. I think this was one in AMD that could be a bit gone. But there's a lot to watch today. The renewable energy space is going to be on the move. So hopefully I don't get spooked out of the trades I'm already in, but they're already against me. So hopefully no witches and pumpkins against these bad boys here. But all seriousness, all jokes aside, it's going to be a big one today. Also going to be watching just a little bit of DraftKings back news. They just continue that slide. You're going to see that on the watch list. It's going to be hard to pick a spot to buy this one, but it might be trying to make a turn today, Sean.
I already have DraftKings ready to rock and roll here, so we'll wait to see on that one. We've been in and out of AMD a couple times as well, just playing around with it. So we'll wait to see. But I'm interested in AMD today. DraftKings is on the watch. Palantir, I was telling Greg, hopefully we don't see south of $10 again. That looks pretty good. PLTR here in New York looks like it was above 10. We're right at 10. So yeah, we're right there. So a nice little move recently on this name. And Twilio with a nice little report yesterday, hovering around 300. It's down, but we'll see. Obviously, SAP yesterday had a big hit on some of the cloud names. So look, it's 9:04. Bitcoin's going crazy. Vaccine names are going, and we're a week away, Brendan, from something that we cannot participate in, but the market sure can.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Exactly a week away until election day. So that is to look forward to next week. Let's have a look right now at what's coming up a little bit later in the show. Great educational video coming your way comparing direct market access to retail platforms. What are the differences? What are the key things that you need to know if you're looking to get direct market access versus a retail platform? That's coming up. But 11:45, Valeria will have the link in the chat for you around that time. Speaking of Valeria, let's go over to the desk and say good morning to her.
Good morning, Brandon, and hey guys, I wish you all a very profitable day. If you joined us for the first time, please subscribe to our channel, share the link with friends, and smash the like button. Take it away, Brandon.
Yeah, let's jump right into it, guys. If you haven't done so yet, sign up for the watch list. Valeria will have the link for you in the chat if you need it. All you have to do is enter your email address. We'll send it to you every single morning before we come on at 9 o'clock. We spend the 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. time slot going over all of those names on the watch list, coming up for with a trading plan as we head towards the open here. Just seeing a couple things moving around. Let's jump into Twilio, guys. Yeah, nice report for Twilio. The cloud communication site reporting a 52% jump in third quarter revenue. Everything beat right across the board. Revenue per share, everything looking solid. The dollar-based net expansion rate, had to get that one in, calculated using total revenue, was 137% higher for the third quarter in 2020, guys. I've never heard that before. Dollar-based net expansion rate. You?
No, you did well. I mean, that's pretty good there, and that's why we have notes, I guess. But yeah, I don't really know what that means, but I guess it doesn't mean much. Twilio here today, not doing anything really, which is so surprising. Last time they had the report, it was crazy. And like I said, I remember taking quite a large win on that one. And then today we come in and I had delusions that we could do the same thing. But this is what I was looking at here. We closed yesterday, literally 4 o'clock at 3:01 and change. That's right where we are right now. It does rip up on some of that report up to 314 and change, then comes back down 293. So we do have about a $20 range or so. And then fast forward to this morning and it's Sleep City. So I kind of like this 304 break if we can get that. There was some consolidation there yesterday, a couple times, a couple tops, a couple bottoms, but you know, if we do take this trade today, I'm not expecting a huge range. So I do like 304 to the top side. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with this space. It makes a lot of sense to me. Nothing but upside here. And this is the digitization of the world. So yeah, I like Twilio. I like it for a long-term play. I love it if we got down to 270 here, which I think we could get to at some point, not today, but as you know, as the 50 period moves its way up. But yeah, 290 defend. I like 304 to go long. We'll have to wait to see what the market thinks.
Yeah, I mean, Twilio, I'm just looking at the spread here. It's almost $1 spread on 46,000 shares of volume. Before 8 o'clock, I was looking at something a little bit closer to a 303 break. And now that it's starting to fade off of that, and like Sean said, the new top in there at the top is the 303, 40, so 304, you can round that one up, you feel like. The other play would be to see if we can hold this 297 and then catch it on the way back up through 300. So that just seems like, you know, given I'd rather have this volume come in the morning off the open on Twilio, that just seems like a bit of a better play for me here. So let's see if it can hold the bottom. 297 at the open, and then I try to take 300 because the level I was looking at 8 o'clock no longer going to be significant at this time of day.
A pretty muted action across the board as far as things that are moving around in the pre-market. We'll talk about Eli Lilly here next. The National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases coming out after market yesterday saying that their late-stage trial for their antibody treatment of COVID-19 will cease. No more participants to be enrolled. Because of what they're saying is lack of any kind of demonstrated data showing that there's any worthiness for the treatment to continue. The company also reporting earnings this morning that missed expectations. They spent way more money on coming up with possible treatments for COVID-19 than they first thought they were going to. So again, not a lot of volume here, guys, for Lilly, but to the downside in a big way.
The volume's, I mean, the volume's 200,000. I think it's starting to pick up a little bit now, which isn't so bad. But look, I've been saying, if those of you that are watching for the show for the last month or two, you cannot buy stocks because of COVID. COVID's going to be the vaccine, that is. That's going to be a losing proposition pretty much for any of these companies. They've already, like we said, and I'm glad Lilly is on my side with this one, spent too much money on it. And there's so many companies working on it. And honestly, they're going to be giving this thing away for free anyways. So, I mean, not for free, but they talked about a 20% profit margin. I think that was AstraZeneca the other day. So I'm just looking here at the imbalance locator. I know a lot of you like that. Nothing really on here to worry about. Energy Transfer, Palantir, Hertz is on the board as well. Nothing really that we're going to be covering here. XO, I mean, when you're down near 100,000 shares, it's not even worth looking at. So let's get rid of that. Look, this is what I'm talking about. Eli Lilly, man, nothing happening. Like, you're basically back to March lows now. I mean, give or take $10 down here to 120. So we're at 134. It's well below the 50 period moving average. I would be looking not long on this for sure, and definitely a short through 134.50. So that's held so far today. Not a great quarter, not great news on the vaccine. So anybody holding this stock for the dividend has obviously lost on this, because you see the daily chart. And then now, I don't know what the catalyst is. behind Eli Lilly right now. So I would say short, and we'll be looking at that 134.50 for sure.
Yeah, it goes without saying. I'll even short a pop. It's got a wide pre-market range here, so not because not just because it's on low volume, but I'd look to fade that. There were a few spikes, like I said, on low volume. If it gets into that 138, I'm going to take a shot testing that one. So if it does a little dead cat bounce, and not Eli Lilly's not really a dead cat, but I would take a shot shorting it. 140 was a previous low, not just yesterday, but you go back in the daily chart and you can see that little bottom as well.
All right, guys, we talked about the AMD Xilinx rumors a couple of weeks ago. Considering that they were going to team up in some way, shape, or form. The deal has been done. AMD announcing this morning $35 billion all-stock deal for XLNX. Obviously going to have to go through a whole bunch of regulatory approvals before it gets finalized, but AMD to the downside, XLNX higher on that. Because of this announcement, AMD came out with their earnings that were supposed to be aftermarket tonight. AMD beating right across the board. So earnings were good. They're not, though, liking this XLNX deal.
Well, it's anytime you have a big deal that's going to be an all-stock transaction, and this is a gigantic one, right? So it's going to drag the price down. I think this is what I was sort of getting at. It's been a relatively solid play, especially when you like the story for the acquiring company. This is a good one because I think there was some interesting quotes coming out of this merger that, hey, the two companies were more alike than they realized, and that the transition was going to be a good one. They both produced with both using Taiwan. I mean, everyone uses Taiwan, but I was hoping that we'd have a chance to consolidate. You get that little sell action based on the all-stock deal and the price tag, and then going into earnings, you get a bit of a ramp up. Now that's already happened. So, the only play I can look for is where is some resistance or some support levels if it does pull back in. Psychologically, 80 makes a lot of sense to me. I would have loved to have been picking it up off yesterday's highs. That plays worked for me before. But I'm just not sure we're going to get down to test the 78.50. So I'm going to have a look at 80. You can see yesterday's top at an 85 break. That's not usually the way I would have liked to play something post-deal, is to play a breakout. AMD might have to be the exception. I'd much prefer to stick to the plan and dip buy, though.
David Keck here on the chat. I seem so disappointed. It's funny, an Eli Lilly, but I don't own any Eli Lilly shares. I own AstraZeneca at 54, which I don't think is so bad. We're gonna go long right now. AMD again if it breaks through 82.75. I like this long, and like Neil mentioned there, I'm a shareholder of AMD, but I did buy some at the first buy I ever made on this was a couple months ago at 50. So really happy with where it is now. And I think, look, they're adding to the portfolio. It's an all-stock deal. Anytime you dilute the shares, I think it was multiple. I mean, what was the billions and billions and billions? 35, yeah. So $35 billion dilution of shares. So yeah, that's going to be a problem. But now they take over Xilinx. So AMD to the moon and to the moon forever. So backflips if you're a shareholder. Backflips more and more and more. Look, I mean, they do a $35 billion stock deal, and the stock is up. So that should just tell you right there that, the market likes this deal, Brendan.
All right, guys, let's go on to Pfizer, the next one, reporting third quarter profit of 2 and change billion, kind of in line to a little bit higher than expectations. On a per share basis, the company beats quite handily, 39 cents versus 21, I think it was, or 72 cents versus 39. The drug maker also posted better than expected forecast going forward for the remainder of this year. For Pfizer, guys. So another one in the vaccine race, if you want to call it that, but earnings decent for Pfizer.
Yeah, never much of a day trade, and when you're flat off earnings, it's down 0.5%, I should say, just a correction there. It's not going to be too exciting. I think you can maybe play Pfizer for some scalp dip buys for us that have direct market access. So, if we sell off into 37 or something right at the 50 period, I'll be probably at least looking at it as it does have that catalyst today. Volume's not huge. Pfizer's not always the most exciting stock, but if you find a level that has some big size or some big support, usually there's a couple of ways you can play off it. So I did write down 37 on the off chance that we dip down into that price this morning, and you see Eli Lilly down. Maybe we get just dragged down and we can take advantage of it by getting a buy, but I'm not touching it unless it gives me the price I want. So we'll see on Pfizer. I'm not that excited for the idea that I'm going to make a trade in it today, but I'm ready for it.
I'm not. Hey, Valeria, how's it going? Good, not too bad. Pfizer right now, looking on here, it's not even on the imbalance locator, so just an update on that one. I won't be trading Pfizer. I never really do. If it does break out any key levels, we'll do that. I mean, look at AMD, guys. 16 million shares today. absolutely nuts. We're going to go long if it does break 82.75, just to give you guys an update in case you see that flash on the screen.
To Harley Davidson, another one reporting earnings. HOG, the ticker, former guest on our show, Harley Davidson, better than expected results. EPS 78 cents versus 21. That's where that 21 number came that I was talking about before. Revenue also beating, profit improved as the company said it continues to work through its turnaround efforts. So not a lot of volume here for HOG yet, but we're up significantly.
But,
Yeah,
I mean,
10
we have some of these cool little, we made these for when Harley Davidson came through, so we'll pop some wheelies off here and get going on that one. There it is. Hey, what's up? No helmet. Very
That's
risky.
not safe.
Okay. Yeah, so here go Harley Davidson, 200,000 shares, which is a nice one. A decent report, obviously up that 10% today. Only $32, relatively cheap name when you're looking at it from that standpoint. So I do think it'll probably catch some bids just because that it is a $30 stock. We saw what happened to Snapchat. I mean, I don't think this has the love behind it that Snapchat does. Let me go on the daily chart here. Breaking out. I mean, and that's the key thing that I want to talk about right now is that we just took out this $30 obviously on today's move. So it is now breaking out. I think you can retest up here, 36, 37. You may even test a high of 39. Remember, they did have some political issues there. Trump and whatnot went back and forth with Harley Davidson about 2 or 3 years ago. Obviously, they've moved on from that. But I like Harley Davidson. I like it long this morning. And I do like it breaking 32.50. Let's see how it settles out first because the spread will be quite big when it opens up. But I think we got to look long on this stock.
Yeah, I tend to agree. It's that daily chart being in break range, heading towards that 35, 36 area is the key thing. We got a question. People have asked us about like dark pool prints. And not treating this as a double top at 32.70. This is just an overnight print. But you do have to pay attention to where we started to sell off. And it's not a huge amount of volume, but there was a bit of a pullback at 32.70. And that's why I'll be looking at that level. Because of Harley's volume, it's not usually a candidate for a trade right at 9.30 for me because the spread can be a little bit too thin. I'd like to see it open up a little bit and then make a run at the top.
All right, guys, let's go to the renewable energy group. If you remember going back a couple of weeks, we had this entire sector going crazy over a week-long period. There was a couple of different news catalysts that kind of kicked off that move, but a couple of them back to the upside this morning. SPI Energy, you remember, leading the way this morning to the upside. They announced that they're going to spin off their Solar Juice subsidiary into a separate publicly traded company. So the board has given approval for that. Both Westwater Resources and Sun W also catching a bit of a bid here on that news this morning.
Yeah, this is interesting for me, Brendan, because I came in today and I looked at SPI and we immediately didn't have any locates on SPI. And so I find myself shorting the other names. Sun W just broke $3 earlier, and so I took the short on the break of that, and I took WWR on the short, and that one's looking, mixed. Whereas SPI, it gives you the push to 12. You get the consolidation lower. It falls right off the table here at 8 o'clock when I would have been looking to take this trade. And this is right in that consolidation where I would have had it. It gives you another retest right at like 1060. So you're still working off that 11 breakdown. And it's working out pretty nice. I'm going to continue to check to see if we have some locates in SPI, but this was something that I definitely wanted to be fading, and just because it's already put in a couple of parabolic moves up, and the fact that it couldn't extend through anywhere near to that 1420 level, which was the last bump, that's going to signal at least jump into the short. Don't have an immediate level other than high of day at 12, and then if it breaks, that 1420. So, that's the story with SPI, and I'm not going to be looking for any longs unless I would have preferred if it made this little bottom here, you see this 973. If that happens at like 920, 940, and then you get some buying off of the open, maybe you can take a long position, but it's still in that little retracement trend. This would have been the one I tried. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately because I'm still in it, but if you look at WWR on the other hand, it actually did get a bit of a bounce. It's still working its way down, and I rolled over in some shares and basically got 67s with a 470 price right now. But SPI only straight down. WWR still holding a little bit here, and it's actually flat on the day. I actually thought it should be weaker because it wasn't bumping as much, Brennan.
I see a lot of you guys talking about Shopify. Yeah, TikTok deal ripped up there on that news there. Apparently just going to, I don't know what exactly, it's partner with TikTok. more merchants, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, TikTok is amazing. I've talked about that since day one. That I don't have it. I don't even really know what it is, other than it's people acting like fools on it. But Microsoft moving to the upside right now as well, 0.73. I just want to check out some of these TikTok type deals here. Oracle as well. Yesterday, Oracle down 4%. I think this is a great opportunity to buy some Oracle. No volume, but 30,000 shares on Oracle. Anyways, Microsoft's a good one here, guys. Watch out for 212 long. But yeah, WWR, SPI, and SunW, man. Look, renewable energies going to continue to be the name. Plug Power, I saw Plug yesterday on Kramer, CNBC. So you're going to get probably a big bump in Plug today as well. This is the name that and again, a little bit biased because I did see a story on them. I do like Plug Power. They're right at this 50-period moving average. So if you guys can go long like a real name, like not a SunW or a WWR, those are good day trading names, but I think Plug Power has some staying power. So right here, I do like this long, 14 and change, man. Renewable energy is all what it's about, especially, Brendan, as you know, we talked about a blue wave. If that comes through, that's all Biden was talking about. Down with oil and up with renewable energy sources.
Yeah, they did give us quite the opportunities going back a couple of weeks. Have a look at the daily chart on SPI. You'll remember what a move that thing had over 2 or 3 days. If you're wondering what we're doing, guys, this is the Morning Movers watch list. If we could throw my screen up there, guys, we'll show you the watch list. Yeah, sign up for the watch list. It's absolutely free, guys. We spend the first half an hour of the show every day going through all the names that are moving around in the pre-market. You get that nice little link to the educational video from yesterday at the bottom there. Absolutely free to you. So sign up for the watch list. We'll continue along on to the next one here. DraftKings back on watch this morning. Again, a little bit muted as far as action in the pre-market, but they announced they've extended a long-term extension with their Mansion Bet partner for, I think it was 10 years, this agreement. So business to business, e-commerce, the whole website deal, Mansion Bet, another online gaming or not gaming, but online betting platform, guys. So DraftKings, I mean,
it seems like story there, Brent.
It seems like once a week there's a new deal for DraftKings, guys.
Yeah, and why not? I mean, DraftKings is what it's all about, man. I saw the Khabib fight this weekend, people betting tons of money on UFC, NFL now in week 8, so they've made it halfway through the season with virtually no problems. I mean, Tennessee was a little bit of a problem there, but other than that, I mean, it's been really positive, I feel, for NFL. Big Ten football back this weekend as well, and now they're making new deals. So NBA slated, I think, for December 22nd. That's going to get voted on today as well. So NHL will be back roughly the same time. So look, as the world turns, we're going to get good movements on DraftKings. I mean, they're the first mover there. And the thing is, believe me when I tell you, like, I've deposited money, and I won't say which company it is, but I deposited money into a sports gambling or online gambling website probably like 20 years ago, honestly, and I'm still with the same one. I don't think people will rotate out unless they really see something of value somewhere else. So as long as DraftKings has the strong name, they're advertising on Sunday Night Football, they're advertising everywhere. I like DraftKings. Obviously, it's going to be a cash burn for a while on advertising, but let's take out yesterday's high of 40.85. So I'm going to look for that. If we can buy any dips, let's do that as well. Down in the $40 range. I like that. It held $39.50 pretty strong here at the close yesterday. So, hey, we're long. We're bullish on DraftKings. I'm already long, but I'm long in the 30s. So it came back for me here, and I think it's time to get a little bit more shares. So 41, 40 or so, 40.85 is a DraftKings blowout long for me today. We're going to put some shares on for that one.
Yeah, I would have, I mean, obviously on this move down, you can sort of see you would have loved it if we did the turn at 35. That goes without saying. But look, the last push to the upside that came in September, and the reason why we're going to be looking for some longs, at least in my opinion here, is that 40 to 41, there was a nice little push up leading into that breakout through 45. So if there's going to be a level to be defended, it seems like this is the one to go. You had a bigger move going into yesterday, as you can see on the daily, guys. So you have an extended move down into what should be support. It bounces back through that support this morning. So I like the long through this one. And again, you have this little hump here at 41. So whether you do that or a 40-50, or what almost I'd prefer is to be long off the low. Now, if it can bounce off that in the morning, that's even better. But you got to take a shot defending DraftKings at some point, and this feels like as good a price as any. If it had gone at 35, obviously an easier call.
To talk about this morning on the watch list as well, but also this SAP, remember, 24% to the downside yesterday. on SAP.NY. We're back higher by about 3+% this morning. So looking for a little bit of a bounce here for SAP. Remember, they pulled their current quarter and full year guidance for the remainder of the year. So that was the reason for the move down yesterday. Let's bring Arun in here and have a look at the overall market. We'll check out the futures and see what we need to be aware of. Arun, we're right back to 3,400 again.
Yeah, you know, yesterday's break provided some opportunities to the short side, but it also established a level for me. So 3,420 is the level I'm looking at. So now we're back here around the 3,400 mark. So I'm trying to look for some shorts with 3,400 or 3,420 as a stop. And as we put in yesterday's low around the 3,455, it also declares some areas afterwards, after we bounced off that 55, around the 70. So 3,370 is the level I'm looking on the downside, and 3,420 is the top end. So above 3,400, I am looking for shorts. I'm not there yet, but it is very close for me to kind of declare something. I think there's some activity here as expected here, just above the 3,400 going into the 3,410s and into the 20s. So I am looking closely for some shorts. And if we can get below 90 into the 85 area, I think we can start looking for some longs as well. They do have to set up. You don't just get into them right away. But 3,470 on the bottom end, 3,370 on the bottom end, 3,420 on the top end. And of course, you got some levels below there. But those are the two areas to keep an eye on there today, Brendan.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in with Arun again tomorrow morning. Let's have a look at ISIG. Not a lot in the way of news for this one. If you remember, going back to last week, we had a big move up to almost 250 for this stock on some positive news. So a bit of a pop back up here into this 150 range. So if you remember, 150 to 160 was a bit of a range when all was said and done at the end of last week for ISIG. So pink line up here is 150, 160 obviously above that, but breaking downside already for ISIG, guys.
So it turns out we just got some locates on SPI. Obviously, it's a little bit late to the party. I mean, it's getting rather close to that $9 price range. So I'm going to try and not force the trade and maybe only short any pops. Ideally into this like 1060 in front of the 11 if we can get it, but it might just be around this 1025. I try not to get into any pops that are literally at 929, 930, that type of thing. I think that's a little bit crazy. The only thing I would add, and this is something I've been toying with, when it comes to stock like an ISGI, actually I think we talked about this, Brendan. ISIG, sorry, I should say, is when you're looking at a multiple day move. I always look for that second day after the parabolic move. Where couldn't it buy above on that second day? And that was this level here at 153. So when I typed in the chat, it was testing that level, or sorry, its first level of the day. That's when this happened. I mean, I had a bit of a baby long going into it and then got out. But then when it failed here, 152, that signals a short. I missed it at 145, so should have had it a little bit earlier, guys. But that one's going to be one to watch, certainly. We already talked about Harley Davidson. I tend to think, and I'm going to sort of jump back in here and show you guys a level 2. The spread looks okay. It's just the volume is a little bit low, and it's got such whippy action that I would ideally like to pick this one up after the open. It looks like it's making a move towards that break, so I might not have this one at 32.70 when it takes out the high if that comes before 9:30 here, just because Harley's not a name that I want to have before it opens up. It's New York, so we will see the opening print possibly delayed by 30 seconds to a minute or whatever it might be.
Okay, AMD going nuts, but I did want to talk about Donkey Kong here, already moving to the upside. So I don't know if these guys heard me or what, but we were talking about it down here at 40. Now you're at 40.50, looking at 40.85 with only a couple minutes left. And look at AMD is going ballistic right now. I mean, it has 17 million shares, and it's moving quite a lot right here, up, down, and around. I'm looking to take out 82.50 off the open. See, good thing I didn't put my order in because it just spiked up to there and then gave right back down. So you got to let these things settle down a bit. So right now off the open, I like Palantir. I like Twilio as well, but the thing about Twilio is it's just dropped down. So I did like 304 range there, but now we're back down to 295. Valeria's busting a gut over here, so I don't know if you guys are laughing, what the joke is, but I'm sure it's very, very funny.
Nobody tells us what's going on around here.
No one tells us. Yeah, we just sit here and trade all day. So that's Twilio, AMD, and Donkey Kong, a.k.a. DraftKings. We are going to put these orders in as soon as the market opens, man. DraftKings, Twilio, this is DraftKings and AMD. So those are all the ones I'm looking at. I'm also like Palantir above 10. So that's going to have to settle itself out. Not much. Quickly, Neil, I just want to give the balance locator so everybody can see. Nothing so far today. So a big fat zero on here. We have NIO, NEO, of course, going to the upside here with a little bid. Hog, there's the hog. We talked about Harley. pound, and then Bank of America. Nothing really going on here, so watch out. Imbalance locator not really going to affect anything off open here, guys.
Yeah, but apparently I've been told why everything is so funny, because Greg, floor manager here, going to be making his first appearance to ring the bell. He's excited about it. Don't break the bell, Greg, but here we go. Market about to open. 3, 2, and...
Greg, you did amazing there. Thank you.
I am impressed.
Yeah, I know Greg was very stressed out about doing that, so I did want to give a big thank you to Gregory for that one. Thank you, Mr. Greg, for that. Okay, so nothing happening right now. Let's just continue to watch out for some of these names. DraftKings looking for 40.85 to break, and then AMD as well, guys, looking to see if that can break 82.50.
Just looking at DraftKings, I mean, this is that bottom where it closed yesterday, 39.70 worth a look. It did so far hold the bottom and then just got back up above that 40 mark. That was going to be the first look for me. So I'm going to try and pick some shares up here. I got my 1 minute chart
There
up.
we go. Here goes AMD.
No, there we go. Yeah, just finally got some shares on the retracement. So down, holds the bottom temporarily. Back in when it crosses 40. Long here at 40.17. I'll give it to that low of day in the pre-market.
Okay, yeah, we're waiting for everything to pop through here. I think AMD could take out 82.50 right now. What's up, Beep?
Another one to look at, guys, obviously on the AMD story here. Intel just popping up on a volume scanner, held 46 there at the open, but coming back in. Big volume spike for Intel, guys.
All right, yeah, AMD does not take out that top, actually. It actually goes the other way. So waiting to see what Intel wants to do with AMD. AMD moving down to the downside right now. So possibly a good opportunity to pick some up. Good thing we didn't take 82.50. Well, good thing it didn't break 82.50, because now we're heading down 81 and change. Maybe a good little pickup here. I guess they don't like the all-stock deal after all.
Yeah, and Sun W, we'll talk about this one just a little bit. We'll say a bit of dragging here. The 30 even break was sort of an easier one when it comes to retracement plays. It was a hard, firm bottom. Once it broke, I took the breakout and worked into the short trade. Just got some out in front of 291. And yes, I'm kind of cracking myself up there. I don't know why. I'm going to get some out in front of that 80 as well. But watch out. It looks like ISIG looking fantastic. But I got to go over to DraftKings because immediately retesting the low. So I took it when this actually bounced back up off the pre-market bottom, which is what I was looking for. But now it's immediately testing that 39.80. If it breaks, I'll look for another entry point. But it was on the north side of 40 that I took the long. Average price 40.14 to the long side. So risk about 35 cents plus slippage. I'll take some out if we cross back towards that 40.50 mark and then try to hold through a break of the high. Just wanted to try to bottom pick DraftKings today. First crack at it ongoing right now.
Yeah, okay. I don't mind that play. We're going to wait for AMD to kind of do the same thing, but I like to let it break upside again. I need to see this thing move. So 81.60 here on DKNG, or on AMD could go there. We don't have DraftKings yet, but we are going to watch it, obviously. And I do have it on the side. We're still waiting for 40. But what a big move downside. I saw some of you on the chat talk about that. I don't know. I mean, I'm not in yet. I think 39.50, we could get some resistance there. Look at the futures, though, man. We're going to turn red today. Those of you that were mentioning possible fading this market. Looks like it's going to be right. Just get ready to pick up some of these stocks on a good price. DraftKings are looking to pick some up here. Here goes AMD back to 81.50. What up, Beep?
Another one moving in the pre-market. I did see this one. Kala Pharmaceuticals, FDA approval on one trial that they had going. I think they had earnings as well that weren't good, but big flush here for KALA, 12%. Straight southbound for this one so far, guys.
Yeah, just so I got the first stop out there when DraftKings, I almost said Donkey Kong, but that's okay, broke through that low. The next test is going to be yesterday's bottom. I mean, if it can't hold this 39.25 to 35 area here, I'm not giving up the ghost on it just yet. I still like the idea, but might have to reconsider the plan of action and only take a breakout and having to show its face to the north side, which might have been the better way to play it initially. But that's a dip buy is what I wanted, defending that 40 area. It didn't work so far. Watch out, that ISIG is breaking towards the top. So two shorts working, Sun W and WWR, but ISIG looking like it wants to now test and break through that high of day, guys. So it was at 153 level, and this is exactly why I showed it to you guys on the chart. It just turned off of that 153. You know what? I mean, obviously I round up to like 155 usually on those trades, but I'll take a little bit more as it just made a bit of a test and was able to hold it. If it breaks through, we're going to have to get out of this one as it's looking very, very strong. But so far, holding this price range right up here in this 53, and currently 55 is the high that I'm watching. We showed you this one on the daily chart. It was a second day play, and 153 was as far as it could go after the initial parabolic move. There was some profit to be had down here in front of the 130s. I went ahead and took some off just to be banking a bit of scalp profit, and I'm now going to look to, like I said, add a few shares back in. If it cannot hold anywhere close to this 150, I prefer to be selling the low 40s as opposed to the high 40s. I want the selling to start to come back in before I jump for some more.
Yep, good. Look, everything so far moving for us pretty good here. We're looking to make some money on this AMD long. We finally take the long. It was a little bit iffy there, but we're going to wait for 79 to break. It looks like that probably does come through here. So we are long at 80.50. We did take a shot. It does go back into the money for us, but we get out. So, or we do not get out. Sorry, here it comes 80.50 right now. What are we long? 53s? So I think that's well worth the risk here on AMD. So let's see if it can retrace itself back to the high side here. Of course, just trading here. Trying to watch Bitcoin, but it's not really moving anything here. That's GBTC at 15. So I don't know. Thought something would happen. We lost small on that. So nothing. Well, we're up small on that. But here we go. Here goes AMD now to the north side. We're long 53 in the money now. 10, 15, 20 pennies. We waited for something to pick this up on the low side, and I think we did that. So here we go. Bottom picking a little bit on AMD. We don't have the very bottom of 80. But we're going to use that as some support right now, and we're long $80.53. So you could join the party right now. It's a nice 30, 40, 50 cent win, hopefully, coming up to 81. We'll see. I think we can get back to 81.50 or so. Let's drop some at 81 if it does come up and capture our 50 cents. What up, Beep?
Hog, guys, in a big way, 16.5%. Big move up to $34 here for HOG. Harley Davidson from the watch list, guys. Better than expected earnings.
And look, I mean, I give the reason why I didn't like this one right off of the open. And again, it's a liquidity thing. It does give you the shot. And the break is going to end up being good. So let's see if it pulls back towards that. I mean, 32, you can obviously see was a bit of a support level. But I like that 32.70 sort of an opening break. And if it pulls back in there, I'll take a shot grabbing some shares in front of it, using that 32 as now. ISIG holds 155 again. But it is rather strong. It looks like it could be testing it. What is not strong is going to be that Sun W, which continues to fall to the downside. So I never want to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm taking shares off here in the 80s like I said I would, and I'll take some more as it gets down towards a 270 close from yesterday. Certainly that's going to be an obvious target for me to be flat at that 270 mark. I don't like to hold too much further than that, but not a great hold on ISIG, and that's why you want to make sure you have some of those key levels. Stick to your rules. I'm not going to be regretting the fact that I missed Hog, but obviously it was a fantastic win. There's no way around it. If you got that, I hope somebody grabbed that long off of the look we had this morning.
I'm sure they did because we were all over that and told the viewers all about Hog. That's why you want to make sure you grab our watch list. Okay, we were waiting for some upside here, 81. I did put my order at $80.95, and it goes as high as $80.85. So we don't take that out here on AMD, but I think we need to. Look at the futures, man. The futures are pumping right now, like huge. So, we definitely thought that we would have got a bigger win here on AMD. So that's making me think that maybe they don't love this as much as we thought, or I thought they did. But here we go. Up to the upside now is AMD. So let's wait to see if we can get out before 81. Let's do that. Put 50 cents in our pocket and just move on from it. So here we go. Come on, AMD. You could do a push. Push a little bit. There it is. 95s. Did we get it? Bang. There it is. Another little 50-cent win right there. So we'll ride our little scooter around here on that one and celebrate because there we go. Watch out. Still wearing a good helmet there. Let's keep going here. AMD, break 81, baby. Let's do this.
Safety first as always, wearing the helmet in that. I like it. The motorcycle didn't have one. I like this 80 bounce. I mean, it's certainly a good play. I was bottom picking in Hog as it just came back in instead of AMD. But if it breaks back down towards that 80 level, I'll take a shot if it bounces off it again. Like I said, I'm going to start digging into a bit of a Hog position. There was that 32.70 initial break. I want an average price of about 32.70 in the event that it actually gets to 32. So first leg here at about 33.20. I can add at the same price there in the 50s to 70 range before digging in any deeper in front of that 32. ISIG continues to head down southbound, but I'm about to get in some more of that Hog. So I wanted to make sure you guys were seeing this. We're bullish on it here. I just obviously missed a breakout. Now a bit of a dip buy trade going on in Hog. I feel like we lined this one up, and I shouldn't do this before it really flushes. But for now, it's that test right up at that previous high on ISIG. And this is what I'm sort of talking about here. It's this sort of 153, 155, whatever you want to call it, level. I always round to the nearest 5 or 10. But it looks like it's starting to come back in. It's testing it. The more times it tests and fails, the better the short ends up being. But Hog needs to get going again. I don't want to lose going long in this thing today. Brendan, what's up?
The other side of the AMD deal here, XLNX guys popping up again on a volume scanner, a couple of them already. It's down about $3 from the open, so they are fading this a little bit. Huge volume though, still 11.6 for 6% for XLNX guys.
Yeah, Xilinx. I mean, again, it's an all-stock deal, so you got to, if you're trading one, you should probably be looking at the other as well. It looks like Shopify trying to make all-time highs as well. SPI moving. I don't have shortable shares on this one, but it is moving around, up 15%, but did come back in off of a nice little move in the pre-market, I guess, from 10 down to 9 and change, and still making a move down. So watch out for SPI if that's something you're into. Other than that, man, we're still waiting for AMD to do something. We did take out 50 cents. So that's a nice win. Now we're out of the money, and if it comes back down and crashes back down, we get out below 80, like we said. So well-structured trade, 50 cents in, 50 cents out. Let's just wait to see if we can make money on that one. Let's check on PLTR quickly here. Palantir, hopefully it's above. There it is. Yes, big little move. I made a position on this yesterday about 964. I told you that this was going to be a long-term play for me, and now we're up to 1015 today. So Palantir, a great stock for me yesterday, but yeah, now we are frozen.
I still have executions here just to show you guys. I mean, you're going to see the quotes just a little bit frozen, but able to take some out on Hog at 30 in front of 33.50. It's a 30. My average price almost right at 33. I never really got the last dip. You see, it came down to 32.25. I wasn't sitting and waiting for it. I was actually trying to catch it back on the way up, as you can see with this order here at 32.50. But already a profitable trade on Hog. And again, look, it's going to happen to you sometimes. You're going to miss that initial push, whether it's because of the rules that you've set for your trade, which is the case here. But if we can break through the high, I'm going to be all over that one if we can. And then we like to get that extension in Hog. And Sean mentioned this, just going to the daily chart, always go to that higher time frame. There's room to get up to this 36 level. Obviously 35 for me. You know how we like to do it around here. I'll scalp out on a 34 break. I'll scalp out in front of 35. 35 would be its own trade. So even if we somehow got to, I don't think we will, to 36 today, certainly next few weeks it's possible. I think we've got a nice one here in Hog. As long as 32 can hold, we'll be defending that one all morning long here. So that's going to be the play that I've got on HOG. Hopefully you got this with us on the watch list. And I think that's the key. You would never normally trade Harley, Sean, but today certainly worthwhile.
No, and then now that we're talking about the watch list, why don't we call that up just quickly right now for you? As you guys can see here, this is the watch list. Right now, I have frozen quotes. So anybody long Palantir, good job for you yesterday. Here's Twilio. Here's Eli Lilly on the board. Here's AMD, Pfizer, all the names you want. Hog, we've been talking about Harley Davidson. It's been a big winner so far today. Look, it was up 10%, right? Then it was up 16%. So we'll get checked back on that. SPI, some of the renewable energy names. DraftKings, Donkey Kong, everything's on here. So, and then there's 90% of traders actually lose money, do they? Watch the video to find out our opinion on that. That's our market wisdom page. So actually right now, it looks like we had a data center connection problem. So we don't have quotes anymore, but they're coming back. I just did want to let you guys know there's AMD. I guess it breaks 80 and we get out there. So AMD, we are now flat on AMD and we're completely flat right now, period. Stock's still moving. I can show you the chart here of AMD.
So you know what, actually, there's a little bit of a trick, and I just want to throw you guys in here, something that I just did just to make sure. And again, you can have another source if you really want to, but as you can see, we don't have any charts. But I wanted to confirm immediately whether WWR was still riding on the bottom because I wanted to take some more shares at 480. So I just, bid and I, get out of less than 10% of the position here, just a small amount, just to see where the price action is at. I can do that, and again, this is going to be if you have enough shares to be able to do it. But just a bit of a tester to see where we're at. WWR is still going to work to the downside. Obviously, I was not patient enough with this, and the story for that one for me was. At the time, no locates on SPI when I wanted to take this, first at 1060 to 1070, and then again when it popped off $10, it gave you the same entry point. It continues to slide down. If I can get it in front of $10, I'll probably look for that play. But SPI was probably the one that I liked. It was on our watch list. Didn't get the locates until after the open, and that's the only reason I was shorting Sun W and WWR instead.
Yeah. We'll have to wait for this to come back. I mean, I'll go here. I see a lot of people on the chat talking about NEO. Here's NEO ripping to the high side right now. So this has been a great trade here. If you took NEO through 2650, it was actually something that we talked about. I do like NEO through 2650 there. And yeah, if you had that, congratulations. My order didn't go out, of course, because we don't have quotes. So 2650, a good little rip there on that move. Now you're making 27. Just watch out. Yesterday's high, upside 27.35. I would start to take some out. Like if you're long, and again, up to you, trade your own book. But if you are long right now on NEO, you may want to look, because there was some consolidation here yesterday in between these two lines, 26.60 and 27. So if you get a pop above 27, I would take some out right now. Like 95 is as good as 27 for me. So watch out for that. NEO, take some out if you're long. You never go broke taking profits, Brendan.
Another one to look at here, guys. We'll show you this chart because we have none at the moment. So bear with us. We're working in the background, guys, to try and get our connection reestablished. Not on our end. Apparently, it's on the data provider's end. So we'll look at this platform. This is Merck, guys, another earnings name from the pre-market. Earnings were decent for MRK. They flushed it, though, all the way back down to where we were. This is after market yesterday. This is the end of the day yesterday. So we're trying to hold 79 here on Merck. Earnings decent for Merck, guys.
Yeah, I just want to, I said in the chat here, but ISGI, it does take out that top. So that's where my stop is going to be. When it broke 155, you're going to see, obviously I'm not going to have any chart, but I can show you the execution. It might have been a reverse to long. I'm not reversing long, obviously, if I'm going to be trading blind. I think it's just reckless to do so. Just a few positions on here. You can see, still have Harley Davidson, of course. That was breaking towards the highs as well. And because we have, look, we're fortunate to have multiple sources here. I can always look to Brendan. Brendan can refresh us on some price action live, and when we get things back, just long hog, short Sun W and WWR. I just saw some confetti, Sean. Winner? Or no?
Not for me. I don't have any. I can't trade. Apparently, we can trade over in Toronto. So if we go over there in Toronto, we'll look to see. And misinformed, Toronto is not okay. So here we go. TD Bank also not okay. So okay, the one thing that I wanted to talk about before we go, not before we go, but as we go here, coming up, guys. DMA versus retail. Neil again. So the thing about Neil is he downloaded all these different facial expressions.
It's
so
true story.
Very good, Neil, for that. I'm glad that you're on all these pictures and not me. I think they're being watched more because of that. So that's a good one. I don't know what that look is, but it's DMA versus retail. So direct market access versus retail. See, the thing is, when they take pictures of me, I just do like random faces, but very professional, Neil. I like it. That's coming up later on today. That's at 11:45. And look, guys, right now, all I can tell you is this happens to the best of us. This is actually the first time that it's, did we just get Microsoft? Oh, Microsoft flashed there for a minute and came back, but still not there. Sometimes you do have to wait. Unfortunately, we do have a data outage here, and our team is working hard on it. So thank you for joining us here today. But all we can do really is go over charts with you.
Sean, this is not to force a trade idea, but SAP was on our watch list, and it looks like we have data in Europe, so we can trade. And I said this yesterday, that you should always, if you can, trade the primary listing. If I don't have to trade the ADR in New York, then I can go straight to the source here. But I didn't want to short. I didn't take a short, I shouldn't say, yesterday when SAP took out a buck. Sorry, 100. Just came through, breaking it for the second time. And look at this level here. Support, and then flushing to the downside, bouncing off 99. I think we can maybe use that as a bit of a price. And again, I'm looking at this in Germany. So you do have to do a currency conversion if you can only check it out in the U.S. and find what the corresponding levels are. But I am now firmly watching this 100 area on SAP. It's under pressure for a couple of days in a row. Although it is up today 2%. You can see sold off the open, having trouble holding above that 100 price level. So definitely worth a watch on SAP today.
Yeah, no, nothing. Just talking about some of this trades and what we're going to do here. Okay, just so you know, here's some hot lists right now for you guys. Oops, there was a hot list there for you until I just closed it. Let me find it back for you here. Nope, that's the wrong one. Let me get it back for you. Here it is. Here's a watch list here on NYSE. So Snapchat, AIG, WFC all moving. Let's take a quick look at Snap for you guys. If we can, we'll pull this over and have a quick look at a minute chart here for Snapchat, just to give you guys a quick little update here. A big move up to 41.80. Look, yesterday we were all about going on Snap and giving the short. Here's a 3-minute chart. It does come up to 41.80. This is the area right along here. 42, 41.80. They had some issues yesterday, kept bumping up, and every single time faded through. So what a great opportunity that would have been to grab a short up here. That's now $1 in the money. You can see the NASDAQ continues to fall back downside. So you got to watch out for this. Check out the QQQs. This is the NASDAQ ETF, the NASDAQ 100 ETF right here. Making new lows right now. It's just breaking through VWAP. This is a 3-minute chart, 281 and change. You can see we're still up 0.22, but watch out here for the Qs. If we break yesterday's little move back to the high side, 280.50, then watch out below, man. We could retest back downside. So this is very, very important level. Yesterday's closing level on the triple Qs of 280.50. If that gets violated and breaks to the downside, very, very nervous for us here on anybody watching the market, but looks like it wants to make moves back high side right now, guys.
I can do a backflip, and look, some of these short retracement plays, what happens, and the ISIG, of course, breaks through the top. Sun W and W are both working, and this is similar to the SPI. But because we have execution, I can simply test out. I'm just doing this with small percent of the position each time. I can see that it's still at 84 and striding towards the downside. My stop is in place at 3, and I keep adjusting it for share size, but that'll cover me on the back end, so I can still trade out of this one. It's going towards plan. If it breaks 3 even, if I'm blind, I don't want to be taking a trade, but the next look would be to see if it would roll over at 330 on a potential fail break to the upside further. The other trade we have on is WWR, and it's a little bit similar, only the difference is started this one in the 60s, added to it, and my average price is actually going to end up being basically 70, as I liked 70 up to that 5 even mark. Now, because we're down, I am taking a few more tester shares out in front of 450, but it's a 450 break that I'm looking for, and I want to make sure I have half the position in the event that that does break on WWR. That one's still working in the money for me here. Brennan, what's up?
This is a wide data problem, guys. It looks like my icon platform is also not connected at the moment, so we'll go to option number 3, which is these charts. So this is Scholar Rock Holdings Corporation, up big time so far this morning. SRRK moving. Just going to check on news on this, but very thinly traded up to 22.50 here for Scholar Rock Holdings, guys.
Okay, you know what? I'm just noticing here. I would love to go. Script failed. So some of my stop orders there didn't go. That's why we do miss that NEO trade. Look, I do like AMD to short it through 79.90 here if it does break. Here's AMD making new lows right now. So 78. See, I might have even put the wrong price in. No, I didn't. 78.90 is the bottom here for AMD. We'll see if it wants to break that and go through. I do see some of you guys talking about NEO. And look, I love the stock. And so no doubt, I just hope that if you're long down here, you did take some off. We did have some problems in this area. You could see yesterday, held, hits 27.34 and then tanks down. So if you're long anywhere down here, like I wish I was, I could show you script failed here at 26.50 on NEO, but I would be taking some out. I probably would already be out here on this one. Check out the daily chart. I mean, this is...
Hey, I got to show this because this is fun for me, and I'm going to use for the first time today. I know it's not till the weekend, Halloween, but it's spooky action in my chart. It's like connect the dots down here because you can see WWR continuing to slide down. Just got some at 45, 44, 43, and it looks like it's going to be a solid one for us here. These are like 30 penny winners down here. I just said I was waiting for the 450 break. Because our execution is fine, I can just simply continue to have my stop loaded. Now that 450 is gone, I'm not going to trail it to 450, but I can move my stop up to this 485 mark and not have to give it to that $5 or anything bigger. This was already sort of in negative territory, and I can still show you on the daily chart. Ultimately, I think maybe it gets down to the $4 mark, but you can see on the way back, this is where it's already found some support. I will most certainly be flat if it got to $4, but that would be that next target. So I'll work some out down to 425, maybe only have 10-20% in the event it does get to 4. But this is why I'm taking profit on that 450 break. WWR at least working in the money for me here with some executions. Brennan, what's up?
Anyone watching this ISIG from the watch list here, Insignia Systems, it's actually slowing down quite a bit. It's holding at 150 here, so volume kind of dying off, but did top out at 165. So we did get above that 150 area briefly, back down to 150 though for ISIG, guys.
Yeah, and that's exactly where you have to have a bit of an out here. And the only thing I will say that was a mistake was chasing this one too early in the 130s. Obviously, I should have had all of my executions in this range. And then when it rolled over the first time, and this is where I really liked it here, guys, is digging into more shares. And I'll do this. And again, you know, I did take some out down at 132, but I probably, even if I hadn't taken some out, would have been willing once it failed the first time at 153 to get into some more shares regardless. I had taken a little bit of profit. Obviously, it would have been possibly worth that long break trade, but you can see there Brennan giving you the look that it only went 10 cents or so, guys. So not a big deal there. I just got another execution, and this is sort of a fortuitous or fortunate thing here that I can go to Sun W. I have targets to the downside, and I have a stop. And this is the benefit of being able to structure your trades is you can see it just filled me again at 279. I'm just sitting on the bid again at 77. So I'll have the ability to take these shares out on this break at 3 even and start bagging these 15 to 20 cent wins. It closed at 271 before, so to me, that 10% move from where I was shorting it is about as good as it's going to get. For me anyways, I'm always going to get flat in front of a previous close or those lower days, that kind of thing. So 275 might be the pre-market bottom. It's 271 where it closed yesterday. Certainly not holding anything through there, but Sun W a winner for me here. DraftKings was a shot and a miss, and ISIG a miss as well. But thankfully, Sun W WWR, and for now, Hog, the lat long is working in the money for me. Brennan, what's up, bud?
Another one to look at here, guys. Exact Sciences. We've traded this one many times on the show. EXAS. They're buying cancer screening firm Thrive. Looks like $2.15 billion deal. Just checking on. They also reported earnings. I think that's a private company, but I'll double check on that. That's the wrong direction. This is EXAS. 3 minutes just straight higher, guys. 114 down here. We're at 125 for Exact Sciences.
Yeah, definitely one to put on the radar here, guys. Exact Sciences. We did talk about this, and actually, I showed you one graphic because Halloween is coming up. But let's just say, and I don't want to spoil it, make sure you're tuning in. Halloween's on Saturday, but on Friday, we are going to have a few things that are going to be special and planned for you guys. Hopefully, you'll enjoy it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, not everyone celebrates Halloween. My daughter goes absolutely nuts with it, and I'll show off her costume if we get a shot a little bit later on in the week. But I'll be going outside, even though it'll be a little bit different with social distancing and whatnot. We'll try to do our thing here. I still haven't got any further bids on Sun W, but like I said, I'm not moving my stop. It's still going to be at $3. If we were to break low of day, at that point, certainly the trail would go to like a 285 or a 290. But the low of the day hasn't broken, and I know because I'm sitting here on the bid at 277. So it cannot trade down to 75 without filling me first.
Okay, here goes AMD right now, guys. We are short, and it's a beautiful trade. We're short, I don't know if you can see, yeah, there it is, 78.91. Already cashed some out there, 60s. And so now you can see we're at 41 or so and making moves downside here. For those of you asking, I'm at 21. Come on, film me, bang! 80-cent win right there. So yes, sir, AMD, just cashing, cash. We are short on this day. 79 breaks, we go short, and bang that out right there at the bottom. These, unfortunately, our charts are not working. I do see the comments on the chat there, and yeah, we'll just go with another source. This is e-signal right now, so I just got filled at the bottom of the day. Wow, the bottom of the day, what, 28, 21? My bid gets filled there at 21s on AMD for an 80-cent win. So big confetti time there. We're barbecuing up profits. I think we're going to a friend's house to do an outdoor movie for Halloween. Should be super fun. My wife has got some crazy things planned as far as, thank you, Ms. V, as far as food is concerned as well, some scary soups and whatnot. Yeah, it should be really scary. Okay, Apple here. I do like going long side on Apple too. If you break above 115.85 or so, going long on Apple. But right now, AMD is what really is cashing in right here for me. Multiple wins here on AMD. That's okay, no problem. We just cashing in, and I know you guys want to see that, so we'll wait for Apple to take out 115 as well.
Yeah, I just threw the hog up there. I was looking for mine, but apparently I do have it on the board. Harley broke 35 here, was able to just take some shares out here, 30 just on the north side of 35. We'll have to see how far it's going to go. I moved a trailing stop in. Our last dip buy was 32.70. I never got the full position here, so I did actually still have a bid I can probably go ahead and cancel. So the average price ended up not being 32.70, ended up being 30, closer to 33. So you get a $2 win on that trade. The first was a scalp out, anticipating that maybe we'd have resistance at what was that 33.80 initial pop to the upside. So Harley Davidson was on the watch list, guys. This is one that we would never, I shouldn't say never trade, but we don't usually trade it unless we have that catalyst. And of course, strong earnings. We're both very bullish on it. We like the initial break at 32.70. I'm now trailing it to 34, so the last of these shares can be no worse than a $1 winner. And we talked about that 36, Sean. Looks like I thought maybe it wouldn't come until later on in the week. We're pretty much already looking like we're going to test it today. Nice winner on Harley.
Okay, yeah, Harley's definitely a great little stock there to trade. And we gave that one to you. And if you're just joining us for the first time, make sure that you watch us and join us and get our watch list. Morning movers, guys. Twilio, everything's on here. It's completely free. Watchlist.tradertv.live. So our quotes will be coming back very, very soon. So come back to us right after this. But right now, we're going to go over to the big screen with Brendan, and happening now.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock, let's have a look at North American markets. We did get the big board here back up in operation, so these are correct for this time. A bit of a mixed story. As you can see, we're still seeing strength coming from tech stocks mainly. You can see the NASDAQ about 0.5% to the upside. Everything else, little changed, really. The Dow kind of lower, the S&P a little bit higher. The Russell here, small cap names all basically dead flat, 0.03% to the upside. Here in Toronto, the TSX 0.14% to the upside, although I haven't seen that change for quite some time, so we'll have to double check that. BOVESPA as well. A little bit negative. I can't show any charts, unfortunately, but there are still a few things moving around from the watch list, guys. If you haven't done so yet, keeping my eye on that. I don't think that's working. TSX is not working, guys. So if you haven't done so yet, sign up for the watch list. We send it out every single morning, absolutely free. There's still lots of great names on there, guys.
Oh my God. I mean, Apple, guys, look at this long in here at 91s. We talked about an 86 break. And then I just hit offer enter. So we did get out of 20% here for 3 cents. Like, I thought the price was higher. And then bang, a nice little out up here for 30 cents. So in here and out, 25-cent win there on Apple. And it's still trying to climb. So we are long Apple. This is where we took the long, just to show you on another chart. We did take the long, breaking through right here, 115.80. We did get out on the high side. What did I say, 17 or 21? Let me see where the exact out was. 17s. So we basically get out at the high of the day on that one. And also, just to give you another update, we're out of our AMD as that comes back ripping through 79. I was waiting for 79.50 to break. I like this long if it does break through 79.50. Now coming back to the downside. So AMD, nice little win there. And Apple continues to make moves to the high side. But watch out for the futures. Don't hold anything too long here, guys.
Yeah, I just want to double back over to the daily chart because we did give this look, and you should always follow along when we're going over the watch list. But this is the level on the daily chart on Harley Davidson at 36 that I'm referencing here. That's why it takes them out of 35. I'm actually trying to take some out in front of that 36 range, and my stop has been slid just to make sure we lock in that profit. I just got another execution, another fill there in WWR. So this one does continue to southbound trade, but it's holding below that 450. And that's sort of a key thing here. I wanted that 450 break to take us down to 25s. So far, it looks like having a little trouble doing that. I haven't moved my stop just yet, but the longer it holds here, I might want to lock in some more profit below 450 instead of having that 85 stop, which currently is still in. You can see 77 was my last entry price. 470 was the overall average price that I had on that name. I also want to go over to Xilinx and just sort of reiterate. There we go. Oh, no, I don't have it on the daily chart. We'll have to check back on it a little bit later. But when you're trading, if you're looking at Xilinx today, just keep in mind you really, really want to be watching AMD very, very closely. There should be almost no moves that don't correspond with moves in AMD. So I know you'll see it as a mover doing volume. Just tread carefully unless you're watching both at the same time. Brendan, what's up?
Twilio, another one from the watch list, guys. Twilio, top of the watch list this morning, the big one, back to basically break even here, right where we ended the day yesterday. This is 300, big level, obviously. Earnings out aftermarket yesterday. So Twilio trying back to the upside. That EXAS I mentioned as well, all-time highs now, guys.
I mean, here goes, you want to talk about a great trade here. Here goes Apple, guys. I know a lot of you love trading this name, and we are in the money now, 50 plus cents on Apple, breaking new highs here. My offer, I don't even know what price it's at because I think it's in the 40s. We're trying to get some out at the high side right now. So pushing. Where's the execution? Did I just get it? Let's see. There it is. No, not yet. We're getting very close though. Apple high side move. 40.47. We're in the money quite nicely here on Apple, going long 115.80. You could see the price. Sorry, 115.92. You see the price on the board. There's that little wick there. I think this is enough for me to get out of a little bit here of Apple. That wick high side there. Let's hit offer and get out of a little bit of these. It might have just hit 40 there. I guess we were waiting a little bit higher than this, but 46.47 most likely where we're waiting. Little fall back down on Apple. Still in the money, 30 pennies though.
Yeah, and look, I'm going to do what you got to do here, guys, and just to have a quick look. I mean, we're in this Harley-Davidson position, so it's just a little something you can do. I have to have execution to be able to tell what the price is, but you can always just go, and I'm just happening to pick TradingView because I know it's quick and reliable here. But Harley did turn around. I was sitting up in this 35.50-ish range. It just turned around at 35.30. Heading back southbound. I'm long here. You can see 32.74 off this area. If it does, at this point, pull back, it's like 34.50. That'll trail me out for a couple of dollars. I'm willing to live with that. We thought maybe it would run into resistance at 36, so I don't want to give it too much room on a pullback when it's going to basically do almost what we exactly expected. You guys mentioned, and it's absolutely true, I got stopped out of ISIG when it broke that 153. Didn't take enough profit, I don't think, down in the 130s, but I'd watch out for that. I would not trade a stock like that. The small caps, when they're going to the upside and parabolic, I want to have a quote to read a level 2 to trade those, so I'm not going to trade those. Harley, you can trade off a chart. I think you can do that with a momentum stock or something that's gliding and trending in your favor like a Sun WWR, but not ISIG. I won't trade those to the upside without a level 2. Brendan, what's up?
I just wanted to show you a couple levels on that ISIG. By the way, 51 million in volume already for ISIG. 175 I had marked off here, which was this high going back to October 21st. And then above that, there's not much until $2.30. So just rejected if we flip over, as Neil was just talking there about that 175 up there. Big rejection candle coming in for ISIG, guys.
Okay, so we did go new position alert here on DraftKings. So we're long right here on this break. It breaks and rejects. So we're long right now. You can see at the bottom there, I hope, $39.97 right now long on DraftKings off of a rejection bottom there. Again, we don't have charts or executions right now. Or sorry, we have executions, no charts or level 2. But here we go. Let's go, DraftKings. A nice little 10-cent win right now. I have targets upside around here, $40.20. Push, DraftKings, push. Here we go. It looks like it's another one for us now. So we'll get the money banks going. Push. Give me some outs right now if we can get it. You see where we're in, man. In again. So now going more and more long on DraftKings. Let's see what happens here. We got to get some orders to get out. DraftKings right now going to the upside. Unfortunately, I don't know where my chart just went, but we do have this one. Making moves to the upside now goes DraftKings, guys.
Yeah, and just bouncing back the upside. I'll follow along here, WWR. I see a lot of people, talking about it, and we appreciate it. The super chat there. Look, things are going to happen, and if you're a trader, this is the reality. You have to make adjustments on the fly. Of course, your stop orders and execution also working, so those tools are available. But just quickly get another look. I mean, I can see a chart here on WWR to see we're still trending back down. I knew it was stalling out at 440 because I stopped getting fills down here, but it's now breaking back up towards the top. It's not going to run on me without me seeing it happen first. I've got my orders locked and loaded to go here. But to just go to Sun W very quickly here, this one also, Sunworks. This one also is rounding out that bottom. The difference being it's basically almost at that 270 target on the way down here. If it now breaks this current low, and it's 77, splitting here, 77, 75, I'll move my stop to 285. We're short here at 97 in front of that $3. So the $3 stop will be out the window if we break that that 275 mark. So going to stay with those two. And of course, Harley, we've got on lockdown. Brennan, what's up?
Just watching this energy transfer, another one from the volume list, guys. ET, if you're watching it, they had a distribution that came up a little bit shy of expectations, but Bank of America with a price target increase and upgrade on ET today. So huge volume coming in here for energy transfers. Already gone from $5.75 to $6, which was that low from yesterday. But a little ways to go to get back to positive for ET, guys.
Okay, so we still have our Apple trade on here. We can check that out for you guys quickly. I'll just keep changing these charts up. So here we go. I'll just make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see Apple. So we are long down here at 115.80, or sorry, 115.92. I keep saying 80 on the board there. Futures not really moving. Again, you can see we are stuck on the quote. It goes as high as 116.25 there. Again, whatever we think about this market is just it's bouncing. You know what? Here, I'll put this market over here. We'll use an E-signal chart for the market so you guys can see. This is a 3-minute chart. Maybe I'll switch this over to 1 just so we can get a better look here at the NASDAQ 100 moving now. So you can see super choppy, really nothing happening. So I think this is a good opportunity, maybe get one other leg out on Apple here, 116.20. Let's put 30 cents in our pocket and then hold the last 20%. I believe that's going to be a good play for that. And then DraftKings were in that as well. As you can see, we did get some out on the high side, $40, and we're long at $40.12. We did initially take the long rate here, breaking through $39.90 and got a little bit more around here, $40.12. So we'll see about DraftKings. Now it's making moves back down. Watch out for this break here. This is VWAP, so $39.80 could break, and then we're going to get out of the majority of these ones. But right now, yeah, the ES is stuck. I agree with you guys. Let's take out some Apple and then just move on and try to find something else.
Yeah, and speaking of something else, we'll talk about SAP here. Of course, it is also on the watch list, and we talked about a $100 level yesterday's price action. Also watching it here in Germany, you can see we still have a quote here on this name. I'm just going to try and take some shorts in front of this 100. I mentioned doing this 2 days in a row now. Today, I'm actually going to go ahead and see if we can pick something up. And this is more, you remember what time of day it is, sort of rounding into the close here or the second half of a European session. So it is slowing down. It'll come out of lunch and start to move a little bit more. But I think we can take this off of like this 100, get some out maybe down towards this bottom end of the range at 99.25 or so. So just going to work this over in Germany. If you are watching, you can also follow along the ADR in New York, but I'm going to trade the primary market here on SAP if I can get a fill in the 75 to 80 range in front of that $100 mark.
There we go. We just got
Euro, I should say.
We just got some out of Apple there and DraftKings, both moving to the high side. So a nice little trade. This is our Apple long. You could see, unfortunately, guys, I don't have the charts to show you, but Apple long here, 115 out there. That was a mistake. And then the double outs here at 17, and then another out at 32 as Apple continues to go high side right now. And again, we are having a problem with the data provider, so stay tuned with that. We'll find out more. I don't really know much more as we are on the show. But again, I don't know how much this one's going upside. But here goes DraftKings making new highs. We did take some out upside on DraftKings, so let's just go here and see where we did get out. There we go. Let's see the chart on DraftKings right now. Nice little out there 20s off of a long 90s and then a long again at 16. So we need DraftKings to keep on going. I think we could get up to here to 40 or 50. So that's where my order is right now. DraftKings making moves, guys. Good trade on that one.
And obviously a big trade here in Hog, and I told you the adjustment I was making to my plans. And apologies, I'll just bring over TradingView again. You can see the execution. I just took out 35.24 here, so I got a $2.50 win on the last of my shares. And again, this was just retesting that 36 area. You can see it trading up towards 36, but for me, I'm never gonna look that gift horse in the mouth. You know what we try to do around here. There was a target already on the back of Harley Davidson, and when it got to that 36, that's why I'm going to take profit in front of it. I do also want to get you guys over to SAP for a quick second here because time of day matters. And I think when you get levels like this off of 100, I'm just looking to scalp this, right? Like I'm not thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to catch SAP in front of 100 and it's going to go down full euro on me. I want to scalp the range that it puts in, take advantage of the ability to get in and out rather quickly. It starts to bounce here in front of that 99.40 range. So if I can go ahead and take, I'll make this mistake many times here today. If I can take 25 to 30 cents, pennies, obviously none of those in play when we're talking about euros. It is what it is. I'll make that mistake all day long. But that's all I'm looking to do here, guys. So bounce off 100, consolidate in the 80 range. I take the short here, catch the fill, and we're able to take like a nice little quarter out of it in the European market. So it's a different market. It's a stock that we're going to be familiar with. It's a trade that I'm familiar with, so I can just quickly jump over. It's not the first time I've traded Europe, but take advantage of it. We're at Day Trade the World and have the ability to trade multiple markets. It is already 10:10. Let's get over to the big screen. Upgrades and downgrades with Brennan.
Hey guys, yeah, let's get you a few more names to have a look at so far this morning. Upgrades on this side of the board, downgrades over there. AXP, we were talking about that one a little bit end of last week. A little bit of a move to the downside today. Chegg as well, earnings downside. Hasbro, UPS, both hanging on to gains still, but only just. Biogen as well, trying to hang on to gains, but downgraded today for BIIB. We'll have a look at that here in a second. The first one, UPS with the upgrade. Disregard that. Nice gap to the upside on the upgrade. Going to take out this top. It looks like 171. Bit of a problem so far for UPS, but it was an upgrade today for United Parcel Service. Biogen here, not really doing a lot. There was a little bit of a gap. This is a 15-minute chart. I was trying to find that last low. So if you go out to a higher time frame there, 260 kind of holding as resistance right now for Biogen, but downgraded as well, guys.
Okay, guys, big wins happening on this side as well. Ooh, that's Snapchat. We got to go back over to Donkey Kong here, $40.40. We'll put out some orders. Look at these trades, guys, out there at 40.30, so long, and out, all the way up. So we get in here, out of these longs for about 10 or 15 cents, then go longer again at $40.15. The out at 20, the out at 22, the out at 30, and now we're whipping to the high side, hopefully, for DraftKings making new moves higher. 40.50 we have, visions of anyways. We'll see if that's going. Apple as well. Big win here for us. We go perfect today. Apple, AMD, and DraftKings, so 3 for 3. But, I mean, I really wish we could get more aggressive for you. It's hard without a level 2 here. Snapchat is going again. I talked about it having some problems at that 41.80 level. It breaks it and then rips to the high side. So what I'm actually looking at right now is this 41.95 area. If we go to a little bit of a larger time frame here, call up a 3-minute chart. It's these levels that I'm really interested in. 42, look where it comes all the way up to, man. 42 and change. You have a 50 period right here at 42.10. So I think if we can get above 42.10 again, we will, not I think, we will go long Snapchat here. 42.10 or so if that does break. So that's kind of what I'm working with right now. Apple long, you already can see that. Out of Apple if it breaks down below here, 115.80 or so. So that's that trade. And then DraftKings continues to make hopefully moves to the upside. And here it comes right back down. So 40.40. We're going to look to get out if it does break through some kind of VWAP here. 40. I think it's more about the 1-minute VWAP that I'm looking at, guys. 39.80, I believe, or so. Yeah, there it is. 39.89. Coming back down now. Here comes DraftKings. Watch out for the futures, guys. What up, Pete?
Uber, guys, just noticed Uber, big move down here. Futures, yeah, not really doing a heck of a lot, kind of stuck in this range so far, a little bit choppy, but Uber pretty negative here. Anywhere from 35.50 all the way down to 34.60 here. We're looking like we might want to press lows. Look at the volume coming in here on the sell side as well. They were talking about both Uber and Lyft having to spend millions and millions of dollars ahead of the election next week on Facebook ads. To protect their laws or the current state of the laws in California and their situation with that ongoing lawsuit. There was also some other minor news catalysts for Uber, but pretty negative so far for Uber, guys.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look over at Twilio here. And obviously, this is one that I would like to be looking at a little bit more heavily. But you are seeing not really the break that I was certainly anticipating could have been in on Twilio. But we'll check back in on it. This is like one of those things where you want to make sure that everything. And again, if I'm going to be trading blind, I want to have a plan of action or executable areas that I can work off of. And that's the only reason I won't look at an ISIG right now without a level 2. And I think it's if you're trading those small caps, you got to do it. When it comes to SAP, I'm going to rinse and repeat if I get a shot. If it comes back up to that 100 level, I'm just going to keep scalping off of it if I can. 75 to 80s. Maybe next time, see if you can't get a more of an extended move. It does feel like there's an off chance that it just wants to hang at VWAP and maybe give us like a 99.50 scalp down towards the bottom. But I won't jump into that yet. Stick to what is working initially. I think that's one of the best things that you can do here is, try to keep it as simple as possible. When you're working with a reduced, I guess, one layer of tools that are away. I mean, everything else is sort of still here. I just want to sort of remind everybody, I know you don't want to see my face, but speaking of the difference between retail trading and direct market access, particularly here at Day Trade the World. The ability to seamlessly jump in and trade another market advantage, but like I said, that level 2 is definitely a big one. Check that video out. I know a lot of you guys are retail traders and are always curious as to what those differences might mean from a practical standpoint and from a strategy standpoint. So watch out for the video. Valeria will be dropping the link a little bit later on in the show. And do let us know if you like it, and anything you want us to cover in the future. We always take suggestions where possible and give those to you on our Market Wisdom page.
So here's AMD 79.51, looking like a decent trade opportunity here. If AMD can break back upside, we're down that 4%. Remember when we talked about it earlier on? They tanked basically right down at these levels. So all you had to do was use some of these markers down here in order to find your spot, and you would have been able to get long here 78, 78.50 or so, and now we're back here to 79. So I'm really happy with the way AMD is moving around. Let's just check it out on the charts here quickly. 30 million shares, and again, these prices are obviously not accurate. This is what we're looking at down here, 79 and change. So I put this up a little bit so you can see it. AMD making the moves, but I'm waiting for 79.50 to break. That may or may not happen. Let's just check out on Uber right here quickly. Yeah, there's the move down. Brendan just mentioned there. Again, down to 39 and change on the downside. Let's check out a 3-minute chart quickly on Uber. Yeah, I mean, we broke that level there. More work to be done. We always talk about 12-minute charts. So I do like to see that. You can see different levels back a couple days, not so many days. Like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's basically enough for me. You get to go back about a week. That's what we look at. So 34.90, that would have been a good breaking spot as well. But look at the futures, guys. Down, south side. So if you're in short anything, probably wait to see what does happen. NEO is always talked about here on the chat, and congratulations, not NEO Plus, just NEO. Congratulations to anybody that did have that long. We're now at that level. Remember, this is a 12-minute chart. We talked about the problems it may have at 27 right here. Now we're up at these problems, 27.40. If you've absorbed that, congratulations. I mean, NEO up 5% today. Might be a little overextended, so watch out. I keep saying this, but what a great long. This was at 26.50. We did have it, didn't get executed in. Now up to the upside, 27.60. I look to go short here on NEO. Sorry to tell you that, guys.
I think we are ready for the small cap recap with Brendan. Let's go to the big screen and get an update there.
Hey guys, yeah, going to be a quick one. Unfortunately, I can only show you one chart. The chart I had open when we lost quotes. So SPI here, a nice gap to the upside today. We're kind of, if you go to the daily chart, we're kind of top end of the range when you consider the gap this morning in the pre-market. So 10 up to 1050 was kind of the area I was looking at. This happened to be 1050, a little consolidation. It took a while to get locates on this one this morning in the pre-market. We ended up getting some right before the open. So easy shot there above 10, 1020 even to get short versus that. My plan was to add more into that level with a tight stop just above. So add more into that tight stop just above. Never got the chance, obviously. Flushes all the way down to 875. So a nice flush, quick move as well off the open there. Down to 875 for SPI. Staff was the other one I was looking at in WWR, a couple that worked really well, nicely fading to the downside. ISIG ended up being a loser for me out above that push through to that 160, 165 area we were talking about early on. Guys, back over to you.
And this is going to happen, and we talked about a lot of these, sort of drug companies at the open in our pre-market look here. And Pfizer, of course, was on the watch list for you guys to look at. The only thing I said was, maybe you get a chance to defend 37. Now, I'm obviously, I always say Pfizer's not the greatest to day trade. So, yeah, it gives you right off the open. You can see it goes down to like 39, comes right back in and holds that 37 range, gives you a little bit of a scalp trade for a 50-cent win, then comes back and tests it. Obviously, this is going to be around the time we did lose some quotes here, but it just sort of goes to show if you try to overtrade Pfizer thinking, okay, well, I mean, I like the report, let's pick some more shares up here today, it's not usually worth it. It tends to give you an opportunity to get in where you like it. And there was that little dip buy opportunity on Pfizer. I certainly would have preferred that to Eli Lilly, which had the negative catalyst coming in. There was nothing really bad to say about Pfizer. I wanted to get more of that SAP. And like I said, there was a chance that this was going to happen, that we'd go one and done and not get an opportunity back at 100 to short this name again. It is starting to slide back downside. As you head to closer towards the European close, you can start thinking about things like a breakdown trade because much like here with the power hour, you do see volume come back into play a little bit more. Also, alert here, guys, watch out. Sun W, what just happened here? There we go. I just got triggered out. So it did break back above 3. And this is what I said about having tools at your disposal. So I knew I was getting executions for the win off the 297 short that I had. But once it breaks $3, I'm going to get executed out here. Also a 3-cent hit on the rest of those shares. But of course, still a winner because we took all of these profit down around the previous close at 271. Brendan, what's up?
Man, what a great trade. This Harley Davidson, guys. Another alert here at day highs. So 35.84 now. Just made another day high. Still decent volume behind HOG, guys.
Right, 210.49, 210.47 or so. We'll go some more shares short. We are now into a softy short here. Our average price is 67. It's at 60s. Not doing anything, but it is having a chance here to break down below. Watch the NASDAQ. We did talk about that. It's about to go red here. These are the triple Qs. If you want to look at the NASDAQ, we are now short. Microsoft with a nice little win here. We do have shares on board. Here's the triple Qs, guys. Looking to break down below that bottom, 280.29. So you're going to watch out for those moves here as Microsoft continues to go to the south side, hopefully. Yeah, there it is, 45. So a nice little win right now. We're short at 60. Oh, here it comes right back up. So what was that bottom, 45? Let's put a bid in and around here. Take off anyways, a little bit for 15-cent win, and then see if Microsoft still wants to go to the bottom as NASDAQ still pushing lower, guys.
Yeah, and just coming back to the, you can see I have WWR to the short side, and that one, Sun W pushes back up, but this is still holding its trend back into the downside. So look, I've already taken a bunch of shares off, and I'll show you the executions in a minute. I just took another leg out on the north side of 450, just at 451, as I want to ease out of this position. If it does end up holding the range, and I thought 425 would be reasonable. You can see my bids down here. If it ends up holding this 425 to 450 range, nothing wrong with getting out here. Obviously, the only thing I can do in reviewing this trade and going back is saying, yeah, well, I should have been a little bit more patient at 8:30, 8:40 in the morning and taken more shares in the 70 to 80 range and had an average price of 75 instead of an average price of 70. But that's splitting hairs here, guys. The stop is now going to be at 485. So we can basically be guaranteed to be profitable on WWR as long as we get the execution on our stop. Should have no troubles with this one. I'd still love for it to get down to that 4-quarter, but have to take what you can get. It is starting to get, it's almost an hour into the session here, starting to slow down a little bit, and that's where you want to make sure you're locking in that profit. Brennan, what's up?
Another airline reporting, JetBlue, guys, with earnings this morning in the pre-market. Bigger loss than expected, obviously. Look at the volume still coming in here to the downside. JetBlue all the way down to $12 now, so a big move down here for JBLU.
Okay, and here we go, guys. Microsoft, a big win here. We're short at 210.60. Maybe I can show you the executions. Here we go, short, like 3 shorts. Bang, 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 bang. And then we take the first one out at 50. 67 short, 71 short. So that's basically a 20-cent win off this name. And then now we're still short. So Microsoft bouncing around, and this is where it is right now. And again, I apologize normally if you're joining us for the first time. We have live quotes, obviously direct market access.
Flip, Sean, they're back.
Okay,
So what I mean, when I say that, it's just he knows what I mean. It's just a refresher of my level 2, and then my quotes are going to come back in. It does look like, guys. So here's WWR. I can see that one working nicely. I actually literally just got a fill at 444. So we'll go back to back flipping on this name, as there you can see it's starting to slide back in. Unfortunately, it does seem like ISIG here, which this was the one, that I really liked it, especially when we rolled over some off that 155. It's going to break higher. We saw, Brendan showed you that it went to 160. It's now back down below, so I would consider shorting this one again. I just want to be rather patient with it, however. Obviously, 130 was some support that it couldn't break earlier.
Okay, and of course we come back and it looks like here, I'm just going to refresh this chart. Hopefully our NASDAQ will go 830. Yeah, this looks, okay, there it is. It's down here. Okay, so here we go. Making moves back to the high side right now. We didn't get out of enough Microsoft because we were just a little bit flustered, but we're still short 59s. It's our only position on right now, MSFT. So looking good on that right now. What's up, Brendan?
Yeah, market's still moving downside here, it looks like. So the next problem we're going to have to deal with here, guys, is these holes. So now we're going to have these giant holes in all of our charts where the data was shut off. But we are starting to come back on. So SRRK was the one we were talking about earlier. Through 24, huge move up here from $16.50 to $25 for this SRRK, guys.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. There was EXAS was the other name that I think you brought to our attention that I had to add very quickly. And I think it's worth noting, We go over the watch list all the time, guys, but remember, Brendan's going to be giving you live names that are movers and shakers when news does pop in. And this SRRK, I should say, right to this 25 mark. I want to say fail break because it could test it again, but to 25.10 and back in. Anytime I see a level like that, which is an even dollar, and not much to look at when it comes to the daily chart in terms of levels that could turn. I mean, 22 would have been the obvious one. Obviously, that didn't matter, so you got to go a little bit further back in to see if you can get a retest. 25 is going to be where I'm going to sort of draw a line in the sand. However, when you get this parabolic, and again, this is a 15-minute chart here, guys. I always want selling to come in first before I even think of stepping in front of one of these names. So SRRK may be testing an even dollar range, even though on the daily chart I don't like this level. It just sort of stands out psychologically.
Okay, agreed. And here we go. Microsoft take another short up here, 211, gets them out right now at 210.75. Our average price is 69, so that, Phil, is a loser. But we just did that just in case the NASDAQ does want to go for a trip upside. We don't want to have everything on, so we just took out about 15% there for a 3-cent loss. We do have some bids downside here, so if we can get in the 50s, we'll be mucho happy with that one. So let's wait to see if the NASDAQ can come back downside. I have bids in the 50s, at 52 to be exact. Let's see if that one does come through. The other trade here, Snapchat. And welcome, guys. Thank you so much for absorbing that 15 minutes or whatever it was with us there. You can see we did have a break in the charts and whatnot, so Snap's not going to look perfect, but we still are waiting for 42 to break on the upside of Snapchat. More importantly, though, we have Mr. Softy, and here this one comes to the downside. The only trade I have on, so I think we've got to focus on it, coming down to the 50s now. Watch out for the NASDAQ to break. We did have some issues here before in the 40s and 50s and 60s, so I'm not sure how far this wants to travel. This might have been a mistake taking this short, but let's see if we can't get paid off a little bit here. Waiting in the 50s now for Microsoft. If NASDAQ does want to fall, we should have a good one here.
Yeah, and just to sort of back to that ISIG here, guys, I'm just going to go to the higher time frame. It's going to be a little bit messy to see on the 15-minute here, but it was this level that we're looking to hold initially, and this is like that 155. But if you go a little bit further back, you can sort of see that 160 that Brendan was talking about. You're now below it. So, I mean, the short does come back into play. You would have heard me say I'd like to see it below $1.30. That was a bit of support where I was getting shares out. I was trying to round into a break initially off that level. And then when it did pop and I took some shares in the 40s, that's where I wanted to be taking some out. So if we get below this range, that 130, I think I'll be a little bit more confident in taking and holding some shorts in ISIG. I think it's a good one. Just got to wait, make sure that the selling has certainly come in. As far as HOG goes, Harley-Davidson, I'm not even looking to short this yet. Obviously, there is some levels that we can start to look at on the daily chart, but it did break through 36. We're now through this price here, and you're really starting to think about, okay, well, maybe 38 is going to be the turn, and I think that's what I'm going to be considering before I start to think about putting some of that profit to work on a short trade, retrace. I mean, Harley, you're going to be up this much. You know, obviously, it was a break at 31 here. And before we extended this move, it was already 10%, and it's starting to get a little bit top-heavy in my opinion. I'll look at it if it turns at 38 for a short trade. Brendan, what's up?
Another name to add to the list, Chegg here, reporting aftermarket yesterday. Disregard these numbers, guys. They're not going to work now because of the gap we have in the data. Again, if you're just joining us, thank you for sticking with us through that. We do have quotes back, you can see, but none of these numbers are going to make any sense because of that giant hole that we have in our charts. But big move down aftermarket yesterday following earnings for Chegg, continuing downside here, down to 76 now on decent volume for CHGG. With the time change on the weekend, still 2 hours left in the session over in Europe. Valeria is watching what's going on over there.
Hey, Brandon, European stocks extend losses today. HSBC Bank is up more than 4% following its third quarter profit beat. Back to you.
Yeah, lots of things moving around on earnings today, guys.
There is. Earnings season abound right now. This is the best week for earnings all year. 186 S&P 500 companies reporting this week, including most of the tech names, including Apple later on. I think Microsoft is this week. I'm actually not sure. We'll wait to find out when Microsoft does report. I should know that as a big shareholder, but it doesn't matter. I have it for a long term.
They're tonight.
Oh, it's tonight. Okay, good. Okay, here goes Microsoft to the downside. We are shorting it here. Has nothing to do with their earnings. Just watching the market here. It's been a down day. The NASDAQ now hovering around 0%. I don't know if that's a data problem, but we are basically just flat now on the day. So yeah, this is not moving. So we'll wait to see on that one. But we do have the chart loaded right now. So we did take another short, 91s. It's at 78. So as you can see, we're just holding the short, man. 210.76. Oh, wow, that's right where we're short. You can see the positions at the bottom. So right now, just holding this Microsoft trade. Also, to give you an update, I do like AMD. If it does break above 79.50, there's been some, and maybe I can call up a different chart, but 79.50 has been, there it is right there. It's come up and broke, did not break. So 79.50, long time on AMD. But again, if I go long on AMD and short on Microsoft, bound to lose on one of those, right? So let's just wait to see. Hopefully we can cash out of our softy before we have to worry about AMD, guys.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to Hog in just a minute, but Neo here obviously making big moves, and you can see just going back to the 23rd, you had this level here up at 27.60, which we just turned at 27.64, so maybe this is going to be the first look for me. And I stepped in front of the Neo train before to limited success. I think usually a little bit better on at lunchtime trying to pick a top for a rollover, but I am watching this 27.60. If this is as far as we want to go, I would take a short off that high of day. You can always reverse to the long on something like an NIO for some scalp trading, but the volume is always going to be good when it comes to Neo. That WWR, I think someone said in the chat, why are you dumping WWI? You know, and I'm taking profit. I think that's a word to be used here, but I'm not really dumping it. I'm just noticing that, and the first time it came down here, there was a bit of support that it chopped into in that 440 range. That's why I took some off. So when it comes back in, I want to continue to make sure that I do that. I still have just over 25% of the position, so almost a full third of my shares are still on here, and I am looking to get out in front of that 425 and then down to 4 if it wants to go, but it's starting to slow down. You can see not a lot of activity in the time and sales. These are good signs for a retracement, for any kind of a sell-off trade or a retracement trade. And this is not a day one or day two. Obviously, this is day like 20 of this going parabolic. But this is going to be a good one, I think, as long as the volume doesn't kick in to bounce us back to the upside. You're seeing this sell-off continuously on every single pop, and hopefully that continues to happen on WWR.
Yeah, and here we go. New position alert, siren alert side. AMD, and bang, we did that again on AMD. Beautiful trade. 79.50 going long. You can see that coming through now. A big trade here. Big trade for me going upside. We waited for this, and now we get it. Look at the futures popping like crazy. That's why we did get out of some of our softy there on worries that this could happen. And I said, if we got into our AMD, then maybe softy could be a problem. Both moving in opposite directions as the NASDAQ and market just continues to fly through. But AMD, guys, great trade. Let's just get out of some more. Bang! Nice little chicken dinner winner. You've been waiting for it all day, and there it is. AMD with the big win. 79.50, man. What a great trade. That is 30 cents plus in the money. We had double the shares on this that we do on Microsoft, so we good. Let's just keep going to the high side here. AMD, big trade.
And just watching a couple of my whole page, just to make sure I'm not missing out on anything too crazy. Harley Davidson's making another move to the upside, but I want to watch ISIG here. And I talked about 130. I'll be more confident shorting this one if it breaks to the downside below that support level. It just bounced off it here, so obviously this is going to be a key level to watch throughout the day. If it goes south side of that 130, I'm going to jump into a short trade. But if it tests the top, I think there's going to be another play here to roll into a short off that 160 area on SIG. Apologies for the gap there, but obviously we had that issue with the charts that's resolved now. Brendan, what's up?
Another one that ended up being a pretty good fade this morning, guys, in that clean energy group. OPTT, that Ocean Power, if you remember that from way back when, a week and a half or so ago when they all popped up. 240 up here corresponds with that kind of high from a week ago, but all the way down to 190 now for this OPTT, guys.
So I have no idea how we did it, but we managed to do really well on this Microsoft hedge with AMD. Microsoft, we get some here at 211 and then cash them all out down. Sorry, 211. 13 or 15. And then we were able to cash a lot of these out right here, man. 210, 99s, even later than that, 97s, 96s. So all good on that front. AMD, though, man, that's the big win right now, guys. 35 pennies in the money. Okay, Snapchat, we waited for that one to break through 42. It does happen. We get long 42.11s right now on Snapchat. So not a huge position, but a nice little win right now for us. Snapchat long 42.11. Microsoft long now. Yes, Microsoft reversed into the long right now, going upside. So let's see if NASDAQ, boom, can continue to go upside, man. It's explosion money time. Check the positions on the bottom. We're going crazy here. Big wins, guys.
Watch out for Hog. This is going to be where I'm going to take a first shot at a turn. 36.78, 36.80 we'll call it, is going to be the high. If it cannot, and it's about to break up to this this test right now, if it cannot go through the high of day, I'm going to take a retracement, pull back short. If it breaks the top, I can still work off of 37, and then above that, that 38 range. But I'm done with the long. Maybe we took it off a little bit too early here, but I like to have a target. 36 stuck out on the daily chart. I think that's another reason I like this retracement short, because possibly should get run into some steam if it breaks back below that 36 mark. So let's take a first test here. I like this area in front of that 36.80. And again, if it wants to break higher, I have another short in mind. That's not the only thing I'm going to be chasing. NIO still looking like it's cruising to the upside, but I'll be patient with that one, more so than Hog. We're a little bit more confident here, even though it does have a little decent short interest. Just got 49s to the short side. High of day is going to be the out. Breaks 36, we'll start taking profits. Simple on that one. And WWR still in the money, but that 450, guys, I keep telling you, the longer it holds, the less profit we'll have on this trade, and start having to think about break even for the rest of these shares.
Let's go, Softy. We're long right now at 27. And bang, there it is. We got out 48 right there. Like I said, massage, the short, basically a flat trade. Take that. We did lose a little bit on that one, but then we go long, breaking through VWAP. 211.26, guys. We're at 55 right now. Nice win on that one. Oh, yeah, and by the way, Snapchat. There it goes again, guys. We got that. So there's a cowbell for you on Snapchat, breaking the high of the day at 42.10. We went long in hells. Yeah, 15-cent win on AMD. 28-cent win on Microsoft, and 30 cents here on Snap, or 25 cents on Snapchat, guys. What up, Beep?
Who needs charts, right? 1847 GoDecker. Never heard of this company, but apparently an e-commerce platform that specializes in household appliances. So they only sell household appliances. They picked up a company called Appliances Connection in a $210 million deal. Flip over to GOD here on the NYSE exchange. Big mover today, guys. We were $7 yesterday, up to $13 right now, guys.
Yowzers. And there's a bit of a rollover starting in Hog here, about 25 pennies in the money. A bit of a bid. It looks like it's going to have to chew through before we get any kind of profit taking here. And it's only 8,000 shares, but as you can see, liquidity not exactly the biggest on the level 2. So this 25 does have to get taken out, and that's what we're waiting to see. I have my stop in through that 37, check that 36.80, which is the current high of day. So risking about 25, 30 pennies. I'll take 30. I'll probably take about 40 cents on the first exit for that win. So I love the risk to reward on this name, but that GOED is going to spark my interest just a little bit here, guys, as it finally loads up. Testing towards the bottom. And again, you get in a retracement like this, certainly you want to see if it does hold some of these lows. The only issue is liquidity, and it's I just showed you a Harley Davidson, which is a $36 stock, putting in 15 to 20% moves on the day, and to have a GOED, a $12 name, trading even less liquid, certainly puts things into perspective. So I like Harley a little bit more than trading in GOED. ISIG still holding above 130, not testing towards that 175 high. I'm not touching that in the middle. It still feels bullish if it's not going to break that 130 mark for me.
Okay, Snapchat, nice little 16-cent win now. We just did talk about that one, so that's a good little look there. AMD, still long 53s, but already cashed out and destroyed AMD. Rips up to the top, near the top of my stocks of that list there. Microsoft, 10 cents in the money, and still moving high side, our best out there, 48, so that's a good trade as well. But yeah, making moves now. There goes AMD. We get out of that one as it breaks back through 79.50. What a big trade that was. Chicken dinner winner for anybody long AMD with me. It's been good. We do apologize for the charts, but we're back. It's going to be a good end of the show here with an hour 20 left. But right now, we do have the big screen. I love that board. It's a little mixed, giving everyone some opportunities. Let's see what Sector Watch has in store today.
Hey guys, yeah, typical for an earnings day, I would say you're going to get individual names higher, individual names lower on news. Also, merger news, they ran away here. Partners in crime now, XLNX, AMD down 3.6%, XLNX to the upside 9.3%, so kind of offsetting each other. Intel right beside it there, down 2.6% as well. Worth noting FFIV having quite the day, 9% to the upside. So overall, tech stocks are positive, but only just. You can see a lot of other ones here, IBM included there, I just noticed. 1.8% to the downside. Salesforce, though, 2% higher. So they are higher on the day, but only just. Let's go over to industrials here. I want to mention the travel names. All of the airlines in here, AAL, DAL, Alaska, their love as well. UAL 1% as well. So UPS had an upgrade we were talking about earlier, but still kind of break even on the day. The rest of them in negative territory. GE here 2.25% to the downside. Industrials are leading right now to the downside for the overall market. Same story with the banks. You can see a couple here, including AIG. That was an earnings name. Met as well. PFG, some of the insurance names really getting hit today. 5.3% for PFG to the downside. Met as well, 2.5% to the downside. So these two groups kind of making up all of the negativity. If you go way over to the corner there, material stocks are positive. We mentioned FCX yesterday, again today, having quite a move back higher, 2.2%. Utility stocks are higher. Consumer staples as well, back to the upside. Tyson Foods there leading 2% in positive territory for TSN. Overall, though, basically a little bit lower, 0.2% on the day for the S&P. Let's go back to Sean.
Holla. Yeah, good job there, Brendan, and good job, Valeria. Okay, Snapchat, 4210, it does test lower. We're going to wait for like a break of VWAP here. And again, the VWAP is not going to be accurate on this because we don't have the right data on the chart. So please, if you have another system or source, use that. 4180 is the real VWAP down here on a 1 minute. So we're going to use that as a breaking spot. I do think we can get some more upside. It does stop at 35. So let's put an order one more time. If we can get a nice little bounce here on Snapchat in the 30s, we'll do that. Here goes Microsoft, ripping high side right now. Back to day's high right here for Microsoft. I guess not off the open, but close to day's high. A nice little win here. We're 70. We're long at 211.27. So 30 pennies, 40 pennies now. 40 pennies now in the money here on Microsoft. Let's get some of this out, guys. Beautiful trade. Made back what we lost on that initial short. Good trade here on Softy. Let's go.
Yeah, and we got in the money about 30 pennies or so, but I'm going to actually add to my position in hog here just a little bit, as feeling pretty confident about this consolidation, and we'll take it off the high of the day. Of course, it was a great long in the morning, but we're moving on to the rollover potential trade short. Another test, but lower high on ISIG here. So we're going to get down towards this 130, it looks like, and start to get serious about shorting a 130 break. I do like shorting off the high a little bit more than the breakdown trade, but as I do see it, and again, I apologize, but the top here, 175. So it did break both the 155 and that 160 area, 175 top from what I can see. And again, if it takes that out, maybe you can start thinking about some longs. But I'm looking at this 130 for a breakdown. The lower high for now is going to be off 150, so I could take a shot shorting that, but it would have to be a tight trade, like a 144 to 145. There's good liquidity on the name, so no trouble there, but that'd be a 5-cent stop, then wait for the high of day. Otherwise, it's going to be a 130 breakdown, and that's what I'm going to be all over, guys. I just want to quickly jump back to another name from a little bit earlier on here, if we can, and it's not to that point yet where I'm going to be stopped out of the rest of these shares in WWR, but I did mention that, hey, as it started to make a bit of a bottom, why am I taking profits on the south side of 450 when I think you can go to 425? You just start to see some buying come back in, and the volume is drying up, which I like, but now you can sort of see why. You don't want to stare a gift horse in the mouth. I want to be able to make that decision. Do I want to get into some more shares if it gets back into that 470 to 475 range that I was shorting with that 485 stop, or do I just want to back off altogether? Having taken profit, it gives me more flexibility. So I do like the rollover. If I can catch it in the maybe high 60s, like maybe 68 to 75, I would take some entries with, again, that same 485 stop, unless volume really, really starts to pick up, which hasn't happened yet. If I get a volume spike, I'm not adding to this position at all to the short side. I would keep my stop at 85 and just walk away from it. It's a decent trade. It's a good one for me this morning. Obviously, it could have been a heck of a lot better if I just waited a little more patiently for that 70 to 75 entry in the first place.
Okay, Twitter here. I like this trade breaking back down through here. If we could take it through 50.80, it would be a good one. It's a big move up here off the NASDAQ bump. So Twitter coming, obviously it's been big mover off of what's that stock? Snapchat earnings. Look at Twitter right here quickly before we go to Brendan. Twitter all-time highs. Really lucky to pick some up down here back in March. And again, save your money, man. We could have another dump very, very soon in the market. So watch out for that. 75 cents right now.
Money
on Microsoft, long 211.27. Look at this stock, guys. Almost $1 in the money right now on Mr. Softy, Mr. Wickens.
Nice look for Microsoft back higher ahead of earnings, guys. Tonight, Microsoft reporting aftermarket tonight. They updated the Spartan Energy Fisker arrangement, the SPAC, SPAQ this morning, saying that Fisker is now set to hit the ground running when they finalize this deal with more than $1 billion, guys, in cash. So nice move up, it looks like early on this morning, but was really wanting to see if I could find a way to see this, but what this looked like on the way back down, because we're already, coming back to 1040 here, but how violent was that on the way back down for SPAC? But nice look anyway, still higher on the day, guys.
I mean, to be long right now, guys, hell yeah. So right now, Microsoft does make that dollar move to the upside. You see where we're long. You can see at the bottom, long Microsoft, 211.27. That's $1 in the money right there. Snapchat, 10 cents. I don't know why Snapchat's not going here. So let's get out a little bit more. It's a 10-cent win right now. We're going to dump the last, where we have half. Let's just pretend we have a full position right now. Let's dump half of what we have. So we dumped a third out here right now. Now it's not going. Let's get out of a little bit more for 15 cents and just let Microsoft be the one to carry us to the high side right now, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of the high side, Hog stops out at the top here. Fortunately, it'll still end up being my number one stock of the day because of the long trade, but the short doesn't work just yet. I'm not done with it. I mean, it just broke up and then immediately snaps back down, so it did take out that high. We still hold that 37, which is the current top, so we can definitely work off that level. ISIG almost got me in there in front of that 150, but it looks like it's stalling out as well. But I want to jump over to NEO, guys. That is starting a bit of a retracement, and of course, I try Hog and not NIO, and it looks like NEO is the one that's trying to slide back to this little downside. So 27.50 or so. If you give it that bit of a range, you're probably risking about 20 to 25 pennies. Which can be a bit much. So you can go with a bit of a tighter stop on the north side of 27.50. And I think that's probably the prudent thing to do given how strong NEO tends to be and the market is heading to the northbound side. That's why I would tread lightly with this short, despite the fact that it looks like if I had just taken it when I first looked at it, it would have been better than that Hog trade. WWR, as I said, caution. It is continuing to trend back to the upside. Volume's still not a huge concern for me yet. But it is a bit of a spike here, guys, so it is starting to pick up. I already have a stop at 485. It's starting to think about maybe it's going to be a bit of a breakout trade. I wouldn't be taking it to the break side. It's not really going too crazy just yet. If it does roll over, I would consider an add, like I mentioned, in that low 70 price average range with that same 45 stop. But once 45 goes, all bets are off for that trade. And again, this is why you take profit down around the bottom. Wasn't dumping the position, but that was just profit taking in the event that this happened, and you're seeing the reason why now.
AMD, you say? Yeah, just talking to myself. Okay, 212.12, big trade there. And thank you so much for that, guys. We reviewed Hog. I know Neil has it, but thank you so much to Curated high, I guess. Okay. Thank you for the $5. Look, any super chat means a lot to us. We had a great turnout yesterday in real fun times on our Q&A yesterday for members. So thank you to everybody that joined that. That was really fun. We'll look to do that at the end of every Monday for members only. Obviously, as we go, we'll keep adjusting and give you guys more and more to look at. AMD, that was the other name that we wanted to talk about right here. Good, beautiful trade on AMD, man, going long. We were trading it in the pre-market, but that was nothing. This is really the big trade that happened. Long AMD at 79.50, and that's 1,000 likes right there. 79.50 upside out. Right here at 80 is our best out is 79.95. Great out there. We'll look to get it again if it goes through 80, but right now AMD on that Xilinx deal saying nope. and going downside down today. Unfortunately, our percentages aren't going to work, but I can tell you AMD down 3.5%. Thank you for sticking it out with us. Those of you that know, this is our first time that we've had a data problem, so normally our charts will say the percentage there, but we'll move on from that. Microsoft right now, big win, guys. $1 in the money, looking to take this out, but NASDAQ just keeps on exploding higher, guys. I don't know, are we ready for with Money Talks? I'm probably going to have something to say with Bitcoin here, breaking 13.4 right now. Look, Bitcoin's up 30%, Brendan, in the last month. Yeah, Bitcoin's uninvestable. Good one, guys. Let's go.
Huh? Who said that?
Yeah, can't stop, won't stop for Bitcoin. Let's have a look at cryptos here. 3%, 13,400, as Sean was just saying. We're talking about that 200 to 300 area, 13,000 yesterday. Yeah, no longer. It's through that top. So yeah, that's the move that Sean was mentioning there. 10,500 at the bottom down here. 13,500 inbound for Bitcoin. Ethereum following suit today. First day in, I want to say 3 or 4 that they've kind of been trading together. But Ethereum back to the upside. Nice to see that as well, 2.7%. Everything else a little bit higher so far today. U.S. dollar weakness coming into play once again ahead of the election. Lots of uncertainty surrounding the possible outcome or outcomes of the election next week. So U.S. dollar weakness today has the euro higher, the Canadian dollar higher, the British pound higher. Japanese yen, Swiss franc back to the downside. We saw yesterday a big spike in volatility in equities. So those two were higher, but back to the downside today. Australia and New Zealand also following suit, both higher on the day. But yeah, can't get away from that Bitcoin chart. What a move. Back over to Neil.
No, there is no getting away from that big move. We were actually just talking about it. No one on the chat was saying it's uninvestable. It was just a general sentiment, I think, was Sean was referring to. But I'm going to get back into some hog here, guys, and I'll go to WDR in just a second. But hog, second time's the charm, and probably should have had a stop at an even dollar and rounded it up. But 37 is what I'll work off this time and see if we can't get the rollover that we're patiently waiting for. Obviously we just had it like a few minutes ago, but the fact that it did not sustain the move to that 37, it gives me the impetus to jump back into the trade. Now, WWR, I said if it started to roll, I would take a shot. Now, I can't show you, but at the time that I took this fill, shorting some shares at 480, there was a buyer on several gateways for 7,000 or 8,000 shares. Yeah, when that got taken out, it started to slide back to the downside. So I basically just remove liquidity from the bid to get some more shares down at that price. It's a little better than what we had before, but I'll work it out. First leg, down here in the 60s or so for that quick little 10-15 cent scalp, and then work the rest down around that 450 to 445 range. Hopefully, where we can catch a bit of a breakdown, because I want that 425 to maintain my price target originally in WWR. And the fact that if it holds this 485, that just gives me a little bit more confidence. So any break of 485 and I'm done. But as you can see, they're immediately getting a quick 13-cent win on that re-entry at 480. Brendan, what's up, bud?
Another one from the watch list. Moving back to the upside here, Pfizer. I was just going to double check to make sure the call is not on right now. I think it is actually, though, the earnings call on right now. Apparently the CEO saying that he's cautiously optimistic that their vaccine will work. So a little bit of positivity maybe for Pfizer, but otherwise big flush off the open there, about halfway back for PFE, guys.
Well, you should be confident that your vaccine will work. That's what it's all about. Now, this is going to happen, and every now and then you have a level that you work off of, and it turns out that you make a bit of a top wick. And obviously, we had a chart issue, but Sun W breaks 3. That was going to be my out for the rest of my shares the entire time. I'll get out, and it'll immediately slide back down. So it is what it is. You got to take that where it comes. And this is sort of and I'll show you two ways that we play that I'll look at these break down or retracement type trades. One of them is shorting off of a top, and again, if you catch it on the way back in, maybe you're giving it to a 330 and you're working into a trade here. However, if I take it as a breakdown, which is like if 3 even breaks, I'm shorting on the breakdown as opposed to getting myself a price at like 307, 308. In that circumstance, when I trade it that way, I'm stopping out if it comes back above once it started to hit price targets. I'm not going to give it any room. I'll just get out of the trade. And it's just a difference between taking it as a breakdown or just catching it on in front of a key level on the way up, like that 330 and that retracement in that regard. Hog continues to be strong. I mean, I'm telling you, maybe we should have just gone longer in this stock. Of course, I say this half kiddingly. but it's now trying to retest that high. This time, if it breaks 37, I'll be 2 and done, and fortunately still positive on the name, but wowzers, it's starting to go sideways here. I feel like it's going to be well worth it. I now don't have any orders on the bid side because, forget about 36 even. I feel like if this holds 37 this time, we're probably going to get a deeper retracement. Hog, we're looking at 31s in the pre-market. The breakout trade was at 32.70. We got a dip buy at that same 32.70, and we're now so stratospheric on this name that you kind of don't want to put a limitation on any kind of a pullback that it could have. Hasn't happened yet because it's been so strong this morning, but when it does, I really, really do hope to still be in position on the short side. I already 0 for 1 on the shorts. Let's see if we can't make it 1 for 2.
Maybe hit its high here. Let's get out of some Microsoft right now. It's a 75-cent win. And, oh no, we just got out of Snap and Microsoft. So yeah, a nice win there out. Look at that. Oh, we did give it to the high side there, but now we're flat on Snap and flat on Microsoft. So some nice little wins. We'll backflip it out. Reason why, man, I am now short Twitter. So Twitter breaks below this level that we're looking at here, 50.80, but comes back up just a little bit here. We got to watch out for the NASDAQ, man. Twitter's super strong and reporting and Snapchat, yada, yada, yada. So Twitter definitely has a lot of tailwinds right now. You did see how it's been bumped up there with the Snapchat report. So we'll wait to see here on Twitter. I think like 51 is probably a good spot to get out. I don't want to give it to day's high. That's a little bit too much risk. I'm actually not expecting, like day's high here would be about a 50-cent hit. And I don't really think that Twitter can retrace. It could, but I don't think it has 50-cent retracement back in it. So we're going to do 51.05 or so, which is this top. So we could possibly lose here about 25, 30 cents on Twitter. I do think we can get back down to VWAP. So I do like this trade. But if the NASDAQ keeps going, guys, then we have to get out of it. So that's Twitter.
Yeah, I just want to go back to, I think Brennan was the one that talked about staff a little bit earlier on in the session. It's continuing its slide back down, but you're seeing some sideways and maybe bottom pick opportunities on this 140. Speaking of the devil, let's go over to Brennan at the desk.
Oh, I got out of that way too quick. WEI. Yeah, we're just gonna move on to the sheep. WEI. It's a sheep. It's a sheep. WEI here, guys. If you remember last week, we were talking about this one. Went from penny stock status to $9.50, and then all the way back down again. But this WEI just popping up on a volume scanner, just breaking 2 here. You can see the buyers coming in on WEI, guys.
Oh, I love you, Brendan. It's a figure of speech. I apologize. But we did well on this, knock on some wood in WEI. And I just want to, before I was about to go over to that name, but I got a bad trigger on WWR here. So look, it trades barely above the price. The way I set my stops is usually I want to see a bid above 85 and not just a random print above that price. So I get out, but look, I entered at 80. I get out and I don't like my out, I just get back in at 80. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes, look, you're going to pay some spread and cost you a couple of extra pennies, but in the long haul, if you still like the trade, just jump back into it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't have to, but give it a little bit more room here and just alter the way that my stop is going to go out so I don't get that bad trigger a second time here. Now, I said, Hog's going to start running in the money for me, but 15, 20 cents, 30 cents, that's what it did the last time. And I said, if I'm going to take a shot at this a second time, I've got to let it go a little bit further. I don't even want to take profit till it breaks 36, so it's got to be like 50 pennies in the money before I start taking this one off, especially when I know I'm giving it now to that 37 even, which is risking over 50 pennies. That's the reason why I'm opening this one up a little bit. I think it was too tight of a stop for the risk reward the first time. We'll try to correct that mistake the second time through on Harley Davidson.
Yeah, I was going to say, HOG, the reason why I like that stock so much early on, if you go to the daily chart here, I can show you why. This is why, man. It broke out past this 30 level. So it was all clear off the open. So good little trade there for anybody that did have that. I know Neil did. So that
I know, we're still looking at Hog right now.
Here, guys. I don't know. I guess here we go. No wonder this is empty, guys. The VOV there going on, but that's okay. Lots happening today, so that's all right. This is what happened. We did break above. Now that we can show hopefully the right chart here, we did break above this little level here at $30.50, thus giving Hog the freeway to the north side. That is Harley Davidson. It looks like our Twitter, it's not stopping us out. It's just bouncing around. Remember, we do have 5105 or so ready to go here. I think that we can go downside. This is a daily chart, but I think we can go downside still here on Twitter, at least back to VWAP, guys.
Okay, so I said I was going to talk about the WEI, and I'm going to quickly go over here just to show you the two levels that I'll be working with. If it decides to turn around, obviously, it's still pushing to the upside, as you can see. But 275, and then for me, this 250 area are going to be the two things that I'm watching. If we catch a turn on this parabolic move up, great. If it halts for whatever reason, that can give us another way to get into this trade. I like taking some of these after they've halted, maybe like 1 or 2 times. And no, that was just our issue with data. That's not an actual trade halt. So neither of those conditions have been met, but certainly got WEI on my radar now to hunt for a short. Come on, Hog. I need more than 20 cents here. Let's get to the downside. Whoa, 11 o'clock already. Time for the European update. Let's go to Valeria at the big screen.
Hey guys, European stocks are in negative territory today due to a growing number of the virus cases. Russia is down 0.91%, Italy is down 1.07%, France is down 1.55%, and Germany is down 0.71%. German chemicals company Brandtag is up more than 6% after announcing job cuts. That's all with Europe, and I'll keep you updated. Back to Brandon. Traders.
All right, back to us, I guess. Yeah, good job there, Valeria. I guess that is the European update. Remember, Europe does close different. They're on earlier daylight savings time. We go back November 1st. We clarified that. That's this weekend. So watch out after. Oh God, it's after Halloween. So you got to fall back. So I guess you get an extra hour. So I guess that's a good thing.
But that's so. Think about it.
Is it?
So Halloween falls on a Saturday, and people
Right.
like to go out for parties. So you would get the chance to have an extra hour partying on
Right.
Halloween. And then, of course, in the year of COVID, when no one's going to be partying,
Right.
that's when you get the extra hour. That's just cold-blooded 2020. It's also cold-blooded that I don't get, like, a WEI turns at 250. I mean, look at this. I said I wanted it at 250 or 275, and it's the other quarter, 225, that it just had a bit of a retracement at. So that is also cold-blooded.
AMD, yeah, good one. AMD, don't quit your day job. AMD now making moves back to the high side. Still waiting for $80. Neil with the dancing belly dance move there. So good job there, yeah. So we're still waiting for AMD to break through 80. That's another call for that one. And then Twitter right now is flat, man. We're short right here at 78. We've absorbed all of this move down. This makes me want to get more short, so we're going to do that exactly here at 50.90. If we can get some more shares shortable, we'll do that. I like it because it's absorbed this whole move up in the futures and stayed here. So let's watch out, get a little more short here on Twitter. Let's go to the downside right now, breaking hopefully through 50.80, bids at 65s to begin with.
And is it asking too much for Hog to get to the downside here? And I'm disappointed, Sean, that you didn't get that Chappelle Show reference, but it is what it is. These things happen all the time. 36 again holds on Hog. I mean, Harley Davidson just showing all kinds of strength. So like I said, if it doesn't break 36, I'm not even taking anything off here. I got to get more than 50 pennies out of this. WR does continue its push to the downside at 10 cents in the money again, but I took some off for 12.13 last time. That's exactly what I'll do, rinse and repeat. It is this WEI that is on the front of my mind, at least right now, and it's already put a bit of a retracement in at that 225 mark. Now, this is not ideal. I told you guys I was looking for 250 or 275. So I will take a shot if it comes back up here, but it wouldn't be for as many shares, and it'll be a tighter stop than normal off that 225 mark. Like, I won't even allow it to go a penny higher. The second it's even a cent, I'm just going to get out of it. But if it does want to go sideways here between 15 and 20, I'd take a shot shorting off high day. Just nowhere near as good as if it happened on a level which gives me like double confirmation. So I'm just that with a grain of salt. Nothing against the trade. It's just that I certainly would have liked it better, as I said, at 250. Come on, Harley, you're killing me here. And ISIG getting very close to 130 break. I've had that stop order in for like 25 to 30 minutes now. I'm going to have that when it finally breaks, and we can hopefully make some of that money back. That's the hit that I took this morning, shorting in front of that 155 when it broke, as our charts were down.
Yep. Yeah, charts down sucked there this morning, but that's okay. We absorbed that. No problem. And I think we actually did pretty good trading there, considering we didn't have our primary service for charts open, and that was a data issue there. I do like this break as well, man. $36 to the downside. We will look to get short Harley Davidson on that move. So if Harley Davidson breaks 35.95 or so, we will go short. I know Neil's already short, I think. So that is a good one. I don't know. It's not up 36%. It's actually up 25% on the day, Harley Davidson. So seems a little bit overdone, although we did call the long today on Hog. I just think that it's just overextended in my opinion. So we'll wait to see if that one is true or not to the downside here of HO to the G. Okay, and Twitter, I thought I had a bid at 65. I do. Does it not go down there? No, it goes to 67. So we're 10 cents in the money right now on Hog, looking for a little bit more. Here it comes. We're short 78s, like I told you, looking to get more short, but it absorbed this whole move down. So if the futures do come crashing down, I think we got Twitter pretty good right now, guys. 10 cents in the money, looking for more. Brendan.
Just saw this Cognizant, CTSH, Cognizant Technologies. Got the dreaded JP Morgan downgrade today and price target decrease. So it's actually a little bit positive on the day, but coming back into a decent level here, 72.80, 72.75 was resistance late in the day yesterday for CTSH, guys.
And I tried twice here, and you can sort of see I'm just going to be passive. I'm not going to chase this any further. First fill here in WEI. I got 219s to the short side. I was trying to get like 21s and 22s, and I'd probably add one time if I can get that price. And if it breaks 225, I'll be out of it and waiting for what I think is going to be a better play if it comes at 250 or 275. It's a time of day where I do like this. It's also the time of day that usually I'm thinking about 2,000 likes. And I know we had some commotion and we've made our way through it and still managed to be positive. I even traded something in Europe today, which I haven't done in a while. And speaking of Europe, we got the update from Valeria for Europe. But where's my 1K? Where's my 1,500? Where's my 2,000?
Yeah,
come on, people. How are we doing here?
Neil, I'm so glad you asked because we are doing so, just 1,100 of likes. Guys, nothing stops you from like this video right now. Please be kind and support guys working hard for you. Back to you.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Miss V. Okay, there goes Twitter, and yes, it is. There it is. Money keeps going around. When you said the Chappelle Show, I mean, Neil and I are big Chappelle Show fans, and that's why I was saying singing. Isn't it?
I am no
Rick
Rick
James.
I'm no Rick James, man. That guy's an absolute.
Right, but that is Rick James that says cold-blooded, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
It's one of his songs. Well, so he says cold-blooded, then he flashes the ring for Unity, which is one of his famous songs.
Right. Yeah, I mean, tons of. We could go on and on about Rick James. There's so many great episodes. I like it when, KFC or GM becomes the #1 company in the world.
Yes.
What's up, Brendan?
Speaking of Dave Chappelle, guys, I watched that Letterman thing on Netflix. My next guest needs no introduction with Dave Chappelle last night. It was fantastic. Worth a watch if you haven't seen it yet. Dave Chappelle in his hometown as well. They go for a walking tour and stuff. It's really good. MRIN here, we've been looking at this one over the past couple of days, back to the downside. Failed up here at 345, 350, bit of a level from yesterday. Just broke 3 back higher again, so buying coming back in to MRIN, guys.
It looks like I should have been watching that Letterman thing instead of a terrible Monday Night Football game. But MRIN definitely a stock that's going to be on my watch. Like I said, I just got into that WEI, and I missed an opportunity. All jokes aside, I should have been scalping this, and it's going to be that 210 area. And if you're taking, and if I'm taking, I should say, like a 220, trying to get a 220 average short off of a 225. I mean, come on, I got to take profits when it goes 10 cents in the money if I'm trying to risk 5. So I'll go ahead and do that here. Just got hit on the bid at 11, so I never got the 21 fill, so it's only giving me an 8-penny winner. But if it starts to work down towards 2, I'll try to be all flat. If it tries to consolidate back around this 195 to 2 range. So it wasn't the ideal short for me, but if it starts to come in, I'll take the profits anyways. Finally, ISIG does break 130. This was the hit that I took this morning, and I think a lot of people were watching the same stock. Apologies, I can't show you the percentage that it's up, but it finally breaks what was this support level that I was getting out in front of and hoping for the breakthrough for my second half of the position. We take the hit when it stops out at the high. Now we're firmly below it. Well, not firmly, we are below it. I got the 129 short And again, you can give it to like 135. I like the tighter stop here, given how strong it's been early all morning long. You can go with a bigger one and maybe give it to 145. For me, I'll go with the tight one, just given, like I said, a lot of strength has been through all morning in ISIG. Let's see if we can get back down. Not saying penny stock status, but certainly 10% from here and an ultimate target of $1 is how I like to play it.
I see that there. Hate. Good one from you guys as well on that. Yeah, hit the like button, guys, if you can. I mean, look, we're dropping Chappelle. We're dropping everything here for you. And hopefully winners. And hopefully you're enjoying yourself here on the show. Okay, so Twitter, we did have this short here. I don't like I love the movement. I'm a perma bull pretty much. But on the short side here today, we've had some great short winners. And they've been in there. So Snapchat, Microsoft, and whatnot. But here we go, Twitter. We are short 78. Look, it bouncing off VWAP, so we're out of 60% now. Bang, bang, bang. Not going to hold this one too much more. The market looks to be breaking this top right now, so that's why we are going to stay away from that and get out of a little bit. We still have our out upside at 51.05, but we're getting lighter on that name. So that is Twitter, obviously. So we'll watch out for that. We did dump it there. 63s, 65s, and then for a straight 10 cents, 67s. Actually better than 10 cents. So we're going to wait on Twitter. I do like it, guys. So let's see if it comes to the downside. I think it can make more downside moves here, especially if the NASDAQ does come running back down.
Yeah, and like I said, we're going to go with some backflip action. I would have preferred 250. I would have preferred 275. 225 is what you get, and you take what the market gives you as opposed to what you're hoping for. So it's going to be the 19s. I never got any,
Watch out,
any more
AMD
shares
here.
at 21. But there's the roll through 210, so I'll take some out at 207 and some more shares down here at 205. Like I mentioned to you guys, that $1.95 to $2 range, I'll be all out when it gets down there. Certainly, I'm never looking to hope for too crazy of a pullback, especially when it didn't give me the entry that I thought would have been a perfect one. But I'll take the profits where it is. A nice trade here in WEI, and Brendan's got more for us.
Another one we were talking about yesterday. Another one looking like it might be topping out a little bit here. This Momo, remember a little Chinese social media platform? They came out yesterday and said their co-founder and CEO leaving the company. So Momo to the upside 2 days in a row, you can see through this little consolidation, but 16 appears to be a bit of a problem for Momo, guys.
Some nice momentum there.
Oh, yeah.
Over well. Okay, AMD, so we just take out some more Twitter there. Nice little
like
5 cents, but this is what we just talked about. AMD, I put it on the chat there, getting a little elevated right now. Breaking through 80, we take some out at 10. That's right where we are right now. So if you do like this one, a nice win here on AMD, guys. Let's get some out if we can. And watch out, man. AMD's blowing to the high side right now off of that deal. AMD's still down 2.6%, so it's not like it's clear sailing here for AMD, but I'm just wondering if that momentum sell is done. I love this stock. I mean, everything tech, AMD is all over it. They buy Xilinx today in an all-stock deal, so that's obviously why we're down that 2+%. But let's see, man. We'll get some out in the teens if we can. I'm actually waiting at 12 just to take a small 10-cent win, and then we'll hold the rest. We already took it out at 10. Now looking for a little bit more here. We're just, there it is, 2021s. Nice little move upside on AMD here. 20 penny winner. Let's go. It's money time on this side. Let's just keep the party going, Neil.
I cannot believe it. I hate saying this, but had our quote stayed down, I probably would have kept on looking at SAP. I mentioned this when we initially took this trade to the south side, that this could be, we'll scalp the trade out, and then you're looking for, as it gets closer to the European close, a breakdown at this, that low at 99.10. It does break the 99 even. I would never take a 10 break. We talk about this all the time. When 99 goes, it's a clean dollar move to the Euro move to the downside. Obviously, we got our quotes back, and I was all over some U.S. names here, but SAP in play. It was on the watch list. Of course, you can trade the ADR in New York. I'm always going to check out the primer when we have the opportunity to. So scalp was good. Wowzers, it was even better, the breakdown trade that we're looking for. And again, you want to be taking that as it gets closer to the close, which is exactly what does happen later in the session. During lunch is when you saw it start to chop around there. And of course, I mean lunchtime over across the pond.
Yeah. Again, over here at Day Trade the World, we do have access to over 63 markets worldwide. So, and looking to make more. We actually have all the destinations for hotkeys and routing keys and everything. So, okay. I don't know what happened there. AMD, we were waiting to get some out at 22 there. And I guess it's, I don't know. I see 27 print. So, I don't know. Maybe I have to refresh and get out. But right now, AMD bouncing around here. Nice move upside on NASDAQ. So, definitely thinking that we could have something here into the 20s on AMD. For a downside move, though, if it breaks through 79.75, let's get out. Again, there's just too much news around this stock just to be sitting here and watching it move. So we got to have a plan. So right here, this little breaking spot, 79.70, let's call it to the downside. Other than that, I'm waiting at day's high to get out of some more of these. But yeah, it's been a nice, beautiful trade so far on AMD. Twitter, we're out. We have 20% left. So let's hold this for low side and see if we can't make a little bit of money on that one. But AMD still waiting for 80.22s, guys.
Yeah, and I can tell you one that's been a little bit sleeping. I think maybe you said this. I'm like 99% sure that you called this out pre-market here, that Twilio sometimes might not have the most movement intraday. There was, and I was only looking for a breakout long, but there was a sell off the open. As it came back, I was looking to see if it had held the pre-market low. The plan was to go long on a 300 break. It didn't hold that low, but it doesn't matter because it never even broke. It hasn't broken yet back above that 300. I think maybe there could be a secondary push, but you need to see volume pick up here, and it wouldn't surprise me, only in 500,000 shares, if that just wasn't the case here in Twilio. So as a day trade that might have come and gone, speaking of names that have come and gone for day trades, we did talk about Pfizer off of 37. Ignore these. Did make a bounce off the open at that price. Just noting here, it's starting to roll over. And this is exactly what happened going into 9:30. 37.75 before it flushed down, testing that 37. So watch out for this 37.75. Might have a bit of a scalp trade, but 38 does loom. I think you're taking 10, 15 cents at best if you take that in Pfizer. If you get too greedy with Pfizer as a day trade, it tends to burn you because the moves are not always as big as you think they're going to be. And speaking of moves that are big, yes, Hog was a great long. Yes, I've now shorted it twice off the top and refused to take a 50-cent win. It's the first time I refused to take 30, 40 cents. This time I refused to take 50 cents. And it's again testing that high. If it holds 37, I really think it's going to be a good one. My first target's down here for like 80 cents for a quarter of it. And then I think we can get back down to like 35, certainly, if this does roll over. But if 37 breaks, I'm not going to fight this anymore. Hog, Harley Davidson, just so strong this morning. Missed the breakout. Thankfully, it gave a dip buy. And that's the thing. If your initial play is a breakout, don't get too far away from it. Got lucky here that we did get a pullback and we're able to enter the trade basically the same price that we liked initially in the pre-market. So got a little bit lucky to have that give us that pullback. It doesn't always happen that way. So you want to make sure you catch that first break.
So first of all, AMD guys, money, ripping to 80.30, 80.35. We still have some. We just got some out at 34 there. Big win, Brandon. What up?
Scholar Rock Holdings, guys, we mentioned this one early on, the pharmaceuticals group. They had positive trial data on a muscular atrophy treatment that they're working on. SRRK, mentioned this one really, really early. I think it was around this 23, 24 area this morning, up to 26.5 now. New day high once again for SRRK.
Okay, AMD, great out there. The market fading down a little bit right now. So we do have to watch out for our positions here as we go. Look at Twitter, guys. Twitter does go down 25 cents in the money and bounces off 50-50. So watch out for that move again. The market's moving downside. We have everything on, man. AMD just crushed right there. Bang. We hit a big win there on AMD, man. Up through. Look at these two trades we have on AMD today. Long at 79.50. Bang. Long again right here at 80. Bang. Upside. So big wins here on AMD. And yeah, hell yeah, we are excited, man. What a good day this has turned out to be. Despite having that data issue, thank you again for holding on to us and with us, because here we go. AMD now ripping to the high side. We've still got on 20%. We said we would increase it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Still have it on. Let's go high side now. AMD for the win, guys.
And rinse and repeat action on WEI just came back up. And I answered someone's question in the chat, was saying, are they looking at a break for 225? And I'll just jump back over and say, look at 250 and 275 in the daily, which means it's not crazy to think that a 225 break has some room to go. I don't love the time of day, however. You're getting, it's that lunchtime hour, so I kind of feel like breakouts are a little bit better on in the morning and the afternoon, especially on these small cap names like 1:30. Sometimes you'll see the action pick back up. I'm going to still stay short side. Like I said, I took profit on the way down to 2, which allows me some room to get back in on this rollover. It just stalled at 220. Which was initially where I got in the first time. So I'll take this, take some shares. Just got a fill there at 16s. Not quite as good as the original entry point, but it's not that bad. We already made some money on it. If it fails here on a lower high, I just want to make sure I'm back in the party without expecting to get the perfect price. Harley, I don't know. That thing just seems to want to go upside. At some point, I'm going to start considering going long on a 37 break. This is crazy how strong that stock has been.
The wife just told me she got some Black Cat pasta for Saturday. So Black Cat told you that she's trying to throw some stuff down. We just tweeted this out. Only 2 positions today on AMD during the show. Long, and hell yeah, long in the money nicely here for AMD. Still making moves to the long side here. And I don't know where it's going to stop. I'm not going to get out of this until forever. So let's just wait to see if we can go high side now. Back to this area, man, 82. So we're long here at 80. Let's see if it can go up. This is that data missing right there on our chart. So, and the other position we do have is Twitter to the short side. Now trying to break through VWAP at 61. The last time it did that, it stopped right away at 50.50. So let's see if that happens again. I still think Twitter can go to the downside. Big time wins, man. 50 cents in the money. Well, 42 cents in the money now on AMD and 15 cents in the money here on Twitter. So yeah, lots happening, Neil, and big time wins over on this side. Let's just hope we can keep the momentum going here.
Yeah, I just took that some of that ISIG out. It just broke that 130 a few minutes ago, and I took that 29. It comes back up and retests, and I like it enough that I take it one more time here at 29. I'm going to start taking it at 125, and let me zoom out a little bit so you can see this. There was this level here in the pre-market, just below that 125 mark at 123. That's why I'm going to start taking some profit, just in case it holds this level. I want the opportunity to bank some in, and then if we get a retracement into 130, I can make a judgment call if I want to add some back. Hog, I don't know what to tell you, man, but this is a roller coaster ride, and you can have an original read long, but I'm always going to be taking this trade, and when I get a shot at it, I think the mistake here was maybe should have been taking some profits and scalping out and then working back in it, because again, the Hog takes out the top, and I'm going to walk away from trying to short this stock. I'll be thankful to be up on it on the day because of the long trade, but I'm not going to fight the short on what looks like one of the strongest names on the market today. I think it's going to be a good one at some point. Waiting for it to break 36 could be the way to go. Not usually how I'll enter a trade in that regard, because you have to give it so much room if you're wrong, but that might be the better trade this time. ISIG back down to that 126. If it breaks that 123 I just pointed out, that's when I'll aggressively start taking more shares, like 21s and 20s, for that sort of a 10-cent type win, down towards hopefully 115 and then $1. I won't still have it if it goes to penny stock status. That one's a little too strong for that.
Yeah, everything moving around right now. It's been a good trade today for sure. And I hope a lot of you guys are enjoying the show as we go. Follow us all on Twitter, all on Instagram, everywhere. I think me and the main account on Instagram. Coming up after the show though, guys, where is it? Coming up right there. GQ Neil, DMA versus retail, guys. So we do have a lot of questions about that. We trade direct market access. What's the difference maybe between what we do and what you guys, or those of you that are trading retail, how you trade and how we trade. So definitely find that out if you're wondering about that, some of the advantages, disadvantages of the two forms of trade. So retail, DMA, and whatnot. That's a good one. So check it out. There's so many good ones on our board there, so you can definitely have a look. My eyes going everywhere right now. WFC, yikes. I mean, the show continues here on WFC as it just keeps on going. I mean, look at this. I mean, look at the daily chart here on Wells Fargo, guys. The worst just keeps on getting worse. They made a run to 34 back in June, and now it's just clobber city here. I don't know what to do about Wells Fargo. Sorry if anyone is a shareholder. The banks right now just getting murked. What's up, Beep?
Yeah, there was a headline I saw this morning on that. Was just going to double check on Wells Fargo, but in the meantime, AMC here to the downside once again today. You can see we're kind of flirting with this low. Recent lows here for AMC. They even said this morning 8 more theaters in California reopening, which is one of their best markets. So no luck as far as any kind of up move for AMC, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about these names, and they're just under so much pressure. Alert, just watch out. That Twilio is starting to get towards that 300 mark. And obviously, it might not be the best trade in terms of its activity today, but that was a round number that we were looking at earlier. Harley does continue to move to the upside. Just on the daily, just if you look at AMC, look, if it can't hold here, I think this is a good way of saying it, this 260, sort of 265-ish. Price. I mean, things could get a little bit uglier. I always usually prefer fading into this one to the short side. I've done it a couple of times where I'd be looking for a pump off of close to the opener in the pre-market. That was off 3. If you get a test up to that at some point, maybe I would consider trading AMC. But other than that, you're probably looking at a breakdown of that 265 range. ISIG, I mean, a bit of a bounce here at that 125, which is a bit frustrating. But I want to take you guys back to WEI. Of course, Brendan brought this to your attention. We've traded it before. Certainly the first time that it spiked up, great. Like I mentioned, I took a short a little bit lower this time off of that 225 high. So the re-entry price was 216. Still have some of the shares from 19, but I'll start taking profit off a bit sooner, or around the same price at the 209. It just feels like you might get some sideways action here, and then you consolidate at 215 even, and then that secondary break gets a little bit better. So I wanted to ask earlier, is it a good long through 225? If we go sideways a little bit longer, give that sense of confidence to someone like myself who's short, the break becomes a little bit better when it has some time to coil up. The volume is starting to trail off a little bit, so you want to make sure there's volume going into that 225 break. If it just starts grinding up on low volume and there's nothing through that breakout, I wouldn't take it, especially at lunchtime. You need volume behind these moves, otherwise they're not worth it. So I'm staying with my short, and I'm not going long yet unless I get those conditions that I just mentioned to you guys on WEI. Wow. Hog's still at 37. I'm glad I didn't take that breakout long trade. You never want to force reversals, and I feel like just because I'm frustrated with the short isn't an automatic reason to jump into a long trade.
No, I've revenge trade plenty of names, and yeah, not a good one there to do that, especially on earnings, man. Yeah, look, the stocks are moving a lot right now, needless to say. So get your orders ready and primed here. This is JP Morgan. We did talk about that. And what that's doing. So it's back at that 50-period moving average, man. I hate these bank stocks these days. They just back and forth and around. You can easily take 5% on JP Morgan because it bounces off VWAP and then only goes to 105. So kind of not doing much. So I've lost my love affair for some of these names here. We got to wait on the banks. I don't even know if election time is going to mean anything to these guys. So get your money in better places. But here goes JP Morgan, downside right now. I did like them a little bit at 96, 97. We did enjoy a move up to 105 off that call, but right now we're breaking lows, man. 99.50 just broke. So just stay away from some of these banks right now is my advice.
Yeah, and I'm just actually noting, I saw someone mentioning the Tiffany deal, but it looks like there is news on that deal about half an hour or so ago, but they are starting to iron things out. They got EU approval. And look, if this thing does go through, I mean, it's going to have a bit of a ceiling on it. So it goes without saying that I'd be shorting in front of it. But Brendan, what do you have for it?
Yeah, I was actually just going to mention that. We just had a big volume spike there, 2-day highs on this Tiffany. Yeah, it looks like they've finally come to an agreement on the actual price. Somewhere in the area of 16 billion might be the total price here for LVMH and Tiffany. But yeah, up on that news, huge volume behind this as well. Just broke that 128, guys.
Yeah, and you know, I'd want to see if an update. I mean, they could be. I want to see exactly what we're working out with in terms of the new price here. You can certainly see when it was like 135 up here and how ridiculous it was. I was doing some trading when you had these crazy moves to the downside. We were picking out some longs on the way back up, but I'd love to be just very similar to what we were doing over in Duncan, is just finding a bit of a roll trade where, like, you know, exuberance gets a little bit out of hand and you can take advantage of selling in front of what should be a bit of a ceiling. Obviously, I don't think it trades above that 135. That should go without saying, but we're so far away from it now that I don't want to miss a chance if it rolls over at 130, which was just a hard ceiling for the last few months now. Every time it gets up there, if you shorted it, you're just banking profits. So it's very close to it now. I'd love to be taking a shot, but I'd much rather see an update in terms of what the actual deal. If it's going to be the same thing, I think we're okay. But 130 would be that first look.
Okay.
So it's still a range. That's too big of a range, 131 to 134.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, right now the market is a little bit range bound. We did have a nice move up on the S&P or the NASDAQ, and then now right back down to these levels, 11,560. We did talk about 11,600 before, and it resisted that and came to the downside. But AMD right now, still in the money 25 pennies, but it was in the money 50 pennies. So $80.40. Let's get out of that one if we can. Twitter, though, man, that's where the real winner is on board now. Twitter now down 30 cents. We're all the way down to 50. We gave you this one, so yeah, we're gonna hit it hard. Bang, that one. Twitter, beautiful trade to the downside now, even making more music now downside here as Twitter making moves. And yeah, oh, wow, okay. Do we get to 50-30? Big trade here, 30 cents in the money. Debating getting rid of this AMD now because, again, if the futures do fall, we don't need to have this one on board. Let's put an offer 80-30 for this, and let's just let our Twitter keep falling, guys.
So you're going to see here, I got an accidental long. When I get stopped out of a WEI, I get accidental long and just take it out. And it might go to the upside, but I already said that I didn't want this on the break. Certainly, I'm looking for 250 and 275 to go back into another short trade. So look, I don't care if it works. I mean, obviously, you could see a test to the upside here. I just didn't want at this time of day the particular breakout. If that same move maybe happened a little bit later on, I would probably have it. In front of my mind is going to be Tiffany because I think there's going to be a good short to be had in that. When it comes to Twilio, it did get right up to that 300. It turned around at 299. I think it was, maybe it was like 99.99 here, or maybe even just tested a penny or two above. But it looks like that was a bit of a hard ceiling for Twilio. Maybe if it breaks out in the afternoon, if the market can get going here, which doesn't seem like it's going to be the case, then we could look at Twilio through the top. Unfortunately, I just couldn't sustain the move here, so no entry on Twilio, unfortunately.
Okay, so the barbecue continues upside here on AMD. We just got out there for 25 cents. So, I mean, what a great trade that was. We're getting out because we want to let Twitter keep falling, and I just don't want to absorb this. So we wait for it to bounce back up. It goes all the way down to 11. We take 24s on a backside move out. So beautiful long at 80. Best out, unfortunately, 33. It does rip up to 60. If you had that, great on you. But I got out there 26, 27 or so. And then look at this now, downside like we thought here. Twitter bouncing off of 50. Not actually. Crushed 50 downside. Now we'll wait to see 43 and change. But this is a good one here. Twitter, 35 pennies now in the money. Don't really have a downside look on this name. We can call. I already went on the day chart. There's lots of action here happening on Twitter. So watch out. I mean, the charts don't work, so we have to go back and find out here off the open. How high did we go? We touched down 49.20. Some talk here, 40s. Maybe we get 49. We're right there already. 49.40 though is where we got to get to. So Twitter's still up pretty good here today, guys.
Yeah, and here comes the WEI. It's going to start to continue to move to the upside. I was talking about 250 and then sort of an obvious 275, 265, 275 range. If it goes any further than that, I think all bets are off till you get way up here in like a 360. We'll maybe have a look at it, certainly the first short through. I'm just seeing, man, Tiffany just spiked again another $1. So I'm going to start thinking about it when it gets to that 130 mark. It's been such a hard ceiling. And if it is repriced to 131, 134, that does seem like a reasonable amount of risk to put a bit of a ceiling on that stock. And WI, same thing, but it's got to go to my price before I start thinking about any kind of a roll. Just watching Pfizer here. A bit of a, like I said, sideways action. If it comes back down, maybe gives you that 37 again, not a horrible idea to take it. But with the market starting to come in, if we start to make lows, I mean, why not be looking at a breakdown here? It hasn't really had much of a range on the day. So trading something which you do anticipate might have some trouble breaking out in terms of the upside. It couldn't break through this 37.75 top that we already mentioned. So if it can't hold consolidation at 50, I think you get a retest of that bottom, and why not scalp it through like a 45 break? But I wouldn't do that unless the ES broke through the low that it's sitting on right now. So I want to be making new lows in the overall market before I think about shorting Pfizer for a little scalp.
Oh, yeah, we didn't check out on Eli Lilly, so AMD a good trade here. And there goes Twitter, guys. You still know that we have this one. Yeah, it's been a money bag kind of day for me here today. We're at our highest spot which in day trade the world language means 0 LFT right now. So that's really good, and we're really happy with that. LVM HDO looks to be 134 per share. We'll see on that one. That's for Tiffany, of course. Okay, so Apple makes that move. We've traded Apple today and profitable. The only stock we're negative on is Donkey Kong, DraftKings. So we'll wait on that one. But Apple right here, some longs early on. You can see we traded it without charts. In there, out, and then a small little loss there. So that's why that is profitable now. And I don't know why. I mean, why is my Apple chart looking like this again here? I guess because I haven't gone back to it. So Apple chart still not good. I'm not going to look at that and trade it. Let's go back over to Snapchat, 4130. I don't know. Some of these charts for me didn't really load the data. So I'm going to clear the cache and then come back to me, guys, on this one.
Yeah, I mean, things like that happen. It's live here, guys, and we're live trading. I still have ISIG on, and this one just seems like it's going to be a little bit more structured. I go back to this 123 level. If it breaks that, fair enough. We'll start to get more shares off. I have taken a little bit out of 25, and I'll take a little bit out of that 23. But the bulk of it, I want to make sure we're trading down through that low, and that was a pre-market low. It's about 7. It's just after 7 o'clock. And what I like about this is this is not like the first parabolic move up. This is like a second test to the upside, that failed. I know executions are going to make it a little bit difficult to see, so maybe I should go to, my 15-minute is frozen there. So the chart issue is extending to me as well. But this is that 153 initially. So the fact that we're holding below that, and the last time parabolic up was at 137 area, so now we can be short in front of that one. Now that it gives me some confidence that we can retest. And again, it's this $1.10 to $1 range I'm hoping we can settle into. I'll be all flat if we get there, but that's a new structure on ISIG, very different from what we had in the morning, which obviously didn't work out for me. It could have with a little bit more discipline, but I was undisciplined here with my initial entry point, and certainly if I contained my entries to like the mid 140s off of that 153 high, no problems, because I would still be up. We would have made 10-15 cents to lose 10-15 and then be basically flat on the stock instead of taking a hit because of this third that we had at a horrible price down at 135. So stick to your rules in terms of aggression as well. And if that means I want a 145 average and I started at 133, I can't be loading up until I have to be considering taking shares right up here at 152.53. And if I don't want to do that, then there's no way I should be taking them at 135. Thankfully, it's in the money for now, but here comes WI to 250. I'm only taking it if it fails here. It looks like it just tested and went to 250, but there's no size on the offer here. I mean, talk about being relatively thin. It's done 10 million shares, and there's 20,000 shares on the offer, which is literally nothing. That doesn't give me a ton of confidence, but if it holds and starts to come southbound, I'll go short off that 250 level. I like that better than the 225 try. But first things first, guys, it has to hold. Brendan, what's up?
Yeah, okay, Brendan.
Earnings, guys. AIG, we mentioned it during the sector watch. Just saw it broke down through 31.75 there, biddable level for AIG. You can see they reported aftermarket yesterday. Earnings were good, but this thing has just faded all morning long, down to 31.75 now for AIG.
Yeah, I see it. That's Sean Owen there. A lot of thumbs up there. Thank you for everything. And yeah, Brendan is the best, that's for sure. Yeah, but what is up with all those thumbs up? Let's not do too many of those, Mr. Sean Owen. But that's good, guys. Thumbs up from Valeria there. What's Valeria's thoughts on Microsoft? We can go and ask her in a couple minutes. What my thought is on Twitter, though, is a 50-cent win. So let's do something that we haven't done too much today. Explode the money. Oh, someone said, what is LFT? And I said that's sort of a day trade the world terminology here. It means loss from top. So if you were up $100 and you lost 20, your net would now be 80. Obviously, 100 minus 20 is 80. And then I would come on and say, my loss from top, therefore, is 20, right? And so right now, no loss from top means we're at our highest spot we've been at throughout the whole trading session. So that's what I'm at, and we'll hit the frost to that. It looks like Airbnb is going to go on the NASDAQ, so that's a good win for them. Twitter still, just to give you guys a little bit of an update, if it breaks back above 40, we'll get out. But right now, it's a 50-cent win. We'll make sure we at least get 40 cents on this one. Twitter, short at 80, guys, and it's down here at 31, so a 50-cent win. If the market keeps rallying, we're going to be out. We're going to be out very, very soon. $50.40. So let's capture 40 cent profit on this one, guys.
Yeah, back into the WEI, just broke that 250, came right back down. So it's on the way back down that I'll take this trade, and it's going to be 245. I'll work it out to 225. Of course, that was the previous breakout, and I can just give it to the high of day. So if we get a nice little slide, we'll dip in. And I always take profit. And this is one way you can manage these trades. Make sure you take profit on the way down, just so that if it goes halfway to your target and then breaks the high, you're not losing as much here, but it's really risking less than like a 10 penny move because 275 does linger to that upside. So I'm taking a second crack, but as always, if it does roll over, gotta take profit on the way down. You can't get too greedy with these, especially at this time of day, guys.
Yeah, WEI now making moves to the high side, breaking that high of the day. So very dangerous when you short those things, but as long as you know what you're doing, it's fine. You got to have outs, and that's what Neil and I talk about continuously. And I see Mr. Softy, whoa, my favorite stock to trade and to own and everything. We love Microsoft now breaking new highs off the report. Going to be tonight. Don't know what it's going to be. It doesn't really matter. If it's worse, I'm going to buy more. If it's a great trade, then I'll just hold my longs. So that's what my opinion on Softy is. Not a great one, but just hold it forever and buy on any dip. Same as Apple. 50-40 here, just out of Twitter. So there it is. We went bearish. I short long everything. Doesn't really matter. If the chart setup is there, we take it. And I did like this. We had to absorb this about 10 or 15 cents against us. As high as it went, about 50.90. I don't actually know if it went to 51. My out was going to be up here, 51.10. So a nice trade there. It doesn't get much better than that risk to reward profile. Still zero LFT. What's up, B?
Another one to look at here, guys. CHFS, which is CHF Solutions. They had new products shipped to hospitals today, starting today, to treat COVID-19 patients. So a little pop here on CHFS. This was actually announced way back when. It was also a stock split. If you remember this, CHFS, we were talking about it a week or so ago. Also wanted to mention this one. Our friend Jeff Mendel over at OTC Markets throwing us this one. What's up, Jeff? Good to hear from you. NWBO on the pink sheets, guys. 21 million shares today for NWBO.
I was literally just looking at sort of that same stock, and when WI takes off the top, I'll just get out of it again. Like you say, you have to have levels. And if it rolls at 250 again, I'm not going to like it. I had to see it higher. I talked about 275, so I'll stick to that plan if it does want to get there. But we can trade over in the pink sheets. I know some of you may or may not have access, but one of the things you look for is volume and liquidity, and certainly that fits the bill. And I think that's the only reason I'd be interested in it. It is sort of tapering off in volume, so you really want to have it when it's still going crazy. And I look at this defense of $1, and we talk about these in small caps when they go into like that $1 range, and wowzers, on volume, bottom at $1. I mean, that's a pullback that I gotta love. And again, sometimes you can apply the same strategies to different markets, even if you haven't traded on a daily basis. That does apply. We are getting very, very close to the close over in Europe. Just worth noting, I'm still looking over at SAP. I was kind of hoping that it would get a bit of a bounce going into the close, and then I could short off of either the 99 or the 100 level. It does feel like it's still falling. I kind of feel like I shouldn't have scalped this and just stuck with beating up on this name. It's still positive on the session, but that's only because of this. That's right, $130 stock. All the way down in below $100. It's a bit of a recovery here, but in perspective, not much of one. SAP, in my opinion, still getting crushed as we speak. So down at 98, there was a shot that maybe I would have been taking this one going into 99 as Europe is going to be closed in about an hour or so. But unfortunately, didn't get it. We'll see what happens if it does give me something in the next half an hour.
Okay, I don't know what WEI here breaking new highs, I guess, as it just keeps on going. Let's check out a daily chart here. I haven't been in this one today, but doesn't mean we won't. Okay, what is that bottom? 272, 275 here on WEI. We die limited there, so we'll watch out for that one. $2.75 coming. So yeah, that could be a good break. $2.75. You may want to take that if it does come through. Here it comes, ripping to the high side. Anybody long? Congratulations, it's a chicken dinner winner for you. But I don't know if I guess you're probably out of that, Neil. Are you reversing long at any point on this name? I was thinking 275.
I hate breaks at this time of day. I said it at 25. I go, it's not a bad idea. The setup even looks pretty good. I just don't. For me, personally speaking, when I take breaks like that in that particular setup, overall, I don't find that I make money on it. So that's why I'll stay away from it. It doesn't mean it's not good. It just means my experience has taught me that it doesn't work for me. And that's, again, everyone's going to be different here. There is, like I said, there was that 250 and the 275 level to the upside. So there's targets for you that looks like they're going to hit, but you got to stick to what works for you. If 275 goes, I think why that long was better than the 25 or 50 is what's left. You're looking at 350. I mean, if you go back to when it made the move to the downside and go to and again, my 15-minute is frozen. We'll have to go to a different time frame here. Maybe zoom out just a little bit and go back. You can sort of maybe, I can't go far enough for you guys there, but there it is. You can sort of maybe start to think about these levels here at like 365, or maybe if you go all the way back into here, I just showed you like at $4 and $5. Like it starts to get a little top heavy. You start getting squeeze plays. I find those are really, really good at like 1:30, 2 o'clock, or maybe after lunch. But if it happens here, I guess it happens here.
Okay, I'm going to finally go hog short here, go hog wild on short right now. Like our boy Rob loves the hogs, and now we're going downside there, talking about Harley Davidson, of course, those of you that know that. So we're going to wait on this side right now and ride this hog to the south side. 36, I think we could break 36, man. We're going to use 36, 65 or so right around here as our out. So let's keep getting into the short. And here we go, we're short at 35 on hog. So if it comes back up, we'll get some more shorts. But here it comes to the downside, a nice little 10-cent win or more here on Harley Davidson, guys.
Just going to fix my chart there for a quick second. I mean, Harley, at this point, I'm waiting for 36. I mean, I tried my hand in this short trade twice on Harley Davidson. Of course, the long was fantastic off the break. Both the breakout and the pullback, I think, were good on Harley. It's just one of those situations where I had it this time, it broke the high. I had it this time, it broke the high. Now, if it rolls over, I'm looking for it to take out this 36 level to the downside. And I'll just get in for a quick break. And if it doesn't go right away, I might even just slip out of it. I don't want to fight it too much, and I'm still up on the stock. But that's only because I've been disciplined with the short. This is a bigger retracement than the first one it had. But it had to violate the top a few too many times to my liking. 36 looks good. I've had that stop locked and loaded and ready to go, so I'm going to stick with it for now.
All right, so Harley Davidson's still downside. We're going to average into this until it breaks back upside, and then we'll hop off that hog at 36. 65 or so, we'll jump off that hog. What's up, Brendan?
Just saw this Cogent, COGT, monster volume spike here. Just coming in, you can see through day highs at 350 there. They announced, I think it was a new CEO yesterday and a new CFO. So changing up their executives a little bit, but COGT, big move up here, guys.
All right. So we're going to average in. I mean, hog does go down there a little bit for us. This is Harley Davidson, and we do have some pretty cool ones here. We have this motorcycle. Okay, it's coming right at you. And then this one for popping wheelies, but right now we are down 2 cents on the stock. So no wheelies being popped right now. And make sure that if you are on your motorcycle that you do wear a helmet, unlike us there. But 36.10, I'm still looking at VWAP. Remember, I'm not using this VWAP because we're missing data here, so it's going to be irrelevant. But I am looking at these little drop-down spots here, 35.97. Like it absorbed 36 a couple times. My initial short was going to be at 36. So if that breaks, then we're going to play it to the downside even more. So just trying to build a position right now. I do like this name, Harley, down to 36. If it gets to 36, we'll take it off for a 40-cent win, and that'll be that.
It feels like it only feels like it's an abbreviated show because we had some issues earlier on, but it's only like 12 minutes to go. I'm still in this ISIG, and I saw what I thought was a good question in the chat just now. Do you think it's a trade for a breakout potentially or a secondary move? If we hold this 123, sort of this pre-market bottom, well, not really a bottom, but I guess a dip buy or bounce, whatever you want to call it. If we hold this level, or we get a break that comes right back through, maybe doesn't even travel a couple of pennies, that'll be a strong hold and maybe a bullish sentiment. And then if the volume picks up, it's just not 150 that I would like is the breakout in that case. It'd probably still be down around this 130. Or I remember the high is at 175. I know you can't see it on my chart, but it's 175 is the top. It's 130 where I just took the breakdown. 150 is in the middle there, and I just don't like breakouts in the middle. So I would stay away from 150 personally. I'd either pick the one at 130, which has less risk to it, or wait for it to take out the top like WEI did. That's what would be my preference. I'm still short here in the money. It needs to start rolling over. The fact that volume hasn't kicked in is a good sign for that short trade. But if it does, got to have a plan of action. This one also goes up in the afternoon.
Yeah. Plan of action is all that matters. We can't say that enough. I mean, you could have winners, losers, it doesn't matter. If you don't know what you're going to do, then yeah, some of these losers can ride, and then next thing you know, you're stopped out. We did talk about risk management on our stock market wisdom page, and we do it every day on the show. So hopefully you guys can do that. And with risk management, I mean, look at this. For some reason, man, Harley got excited there and got all the way up to 71 or so. Our out is going to be a break of this level, 70, 71. We gave that to you early. It did not break, so we'll wait. It could come ripping back to the high side there. That was very uncalled for. Like, it was down to 36.27 and then ripped up 50 cents. So that could take that out. I may adjust it back to 75. Yeah, let's wait for a 75 break on Harley. But now we're in 3 times the position. Still about half a unit. I mean, look, we're 10 minutes to close here, so we're not super worried about the volume coming into this name, but I don't want to get wicked out as well. So 36.75 is going to be our out on Harley with downside around here, 36.30. Doesn't look like this will be a good trade here.
Brennan, what's up, bud?
RTX, guys, another earnings name, Raytheon Technologies. Earnings disappointed. Sadly, it was their defense unit sales that were lower than expected for RTX. Just notice, though, there was a little bit of buying coming in. You can see volume popping up here at 58, which is a big kind of area of congestion here a couple times on the daily chart for Raytheon, guys.
Raytheon. Like, I think we mentioned, of course, I think it's like 1 in 3 S&P 500 companies reporting this week. So we know it's going to be massive earnings. Microsoft is going to be after the bell. And there's a few other ones that we have to get to. I just want to quickly jump back over to something from yesterday. As the market, kind of holds downside, we keep getting negative news about COVID. We talked about a dip buy opportunity yesterday in Zoom. Maybe I should show you guys. Oh no, let's go to a 15-minute, not a 30 on Zoom, and hopefully this will load up a little bit nicer here. We talked about a breakout on Zoom at that 520 yesterday. A little bit of trouble off of the open holding, but it's just worth noting. You get this bump off the open a couple of sessions ago, then down to 505. We open, we hold the low again, even after the 520 retraces. Zoom a third day here, a dip down, and then holds higher 3 times in a row, 05, 10s, and now 13. So you are seeing every time Zoom now tests lower and sells off a little bit with the market, you're catching these bounces. So what I want to go ahead and do is start thinking about like 515 tomorrow or 520 tomorrow. If we do close higher and then get a bit of a sell, I think Zoom for the dip buy until it doesn't work. Obviously, there was a missed opportunity, and we both were looking at this and missed it long. But you got to file it away as a win. So I don't mind going back to the well on day 4, potentially, on Zoom tomorrow. So just want to file that away. That's the kind of thing I'll be looking for in the afternoon, but just spotted it here before the end of the show and wanted to get that one out to you. It's starting to look like it wants to round out for a secondary move.
Yeah, great look on Zoom. I mean, Zoom yesterday, we definitely missed that one. Well, we tried it through 521 and missed, and then it came right back. So that's Zoom for you, Zoom Media. Okay, just watching this hog as it's right upside now. We're close to getting stopped out at 75. I guess we picked a good level because it bounced off there a couple times. And here it goes. Look, we're not going to get all these wins. This is a 50 cent. Is it going to be? No, it's going to be 30 cent hit if we take it. There it is, out. So there you go, hog. Riding this, like I said, no helmet. You ride something without a helmet, and yeah, you could have a loss. And there it is right there. Hog, loser there. Joining, what was it, Snap? No, what was our other? DraftKings. So right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6 for 8 today on this Harley-Davidson loss there. We thought it was going to go downside. I know we both got burned trying to go short on that. This was a very, very small hit, but doesn't matter. We did lose on it, so that's hog. Making moves back to the upside. I still like a fade through 37, though, but the market wants to take this thing higher, so let's not fight the hog, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's just so strong, and obviously it was a great call. We talk about the watch list all the time. That's why you want to follow along, because Harley-Davidson is literally it's just not a stock that a day trader is going to be involved in. But when you get a catalyst, when you get earnings, that's when you got to play it here. INO, I guess you can kind of see this on my 1-minute chart. Just a little bit of a spike here. I mean, it's not a huge move. It's like a 50-cent move, but it's because it was literally doing nothing. That's why it's going to stand out. Just worth noting on the daily chart, INO already was looking like it was trying to consolidate off a bit of a base at this 1050. I'm looking to see, obviously $11 right here, but 1150 is another level to the upside that I'd be hunting for INO. The only thing I have on ISIG, I just went over what you might think about doing. I'm not telling you got to go long if it breaks 130. I'm just telling you that's where I'm getting out of my short. But as it finally tests this pre-market level here from 122, I'll start to take some more shares off here. Now, I've had that 129 breakdown for a while, and I wasn't patient earlier. More patience here, not getting too aggressive adding to it, just sticking with what I got, and then just patiently waiting for it to roll over. I'll be all out if it goes back to a buck. I'll take more off in the teens here if it gets down to like 115. But first things first, has to break 120 where I have a small bid as well. So ISIG finally working for me. It's my worst stock of the day because of my lack of discipline. You can see it blew off the top, and I should never have had these shares down at 133. That goes against my plan. All the entries should have been in the 40s, and then in front of that 155, 153 to 155. You break your rules, you pay the price for it. Now we stick to them, and it works out for you.
I remember what I said here, not to revenge trade anything, but I'm short hog again. We'll give it to 36. There was some size here at 95, so we'll just give it to that. If it breaks through, we put on a lot more shares than we had right here. So if that does break, then yeah, we'll be out. But more shares here than we did on these three combined ahead of that size. Go ahead.
It's not, look, it's going to seem like I was like gawking at the trade. Look, man, I shorted twice hog, and time of day is probably going to work in Sean's favor. I was goo-goo and gaga over it. I can see the earnings board preview that we're about to go to in a couple of seconds here. And we just said it was like a 30 SP 500 this week. Wowzers, that's a busy board. You can get an aneurysm looking at it. Like I said, it's a little bit later on in the session, so I only have one thing to work off of ISIG, but there is a couple of other names that are going to be on the radar for me here. I did talk about Twilio potentially through 300. The fact that you had this bit of a buyer that rolled over at 300 and then it turns at 300, both good signs for a potential break. If you like this, it's the lack of getting to 1 million shares in volume post-earnings that makes me kind of stride away from it, at least temporarily here. But hey, it's an obvious level there. I think you can take it as long as the volume's in the move to the upside and the spread is not too crazy, which is definitely a potential. I mentioned earnings. It's a crazy day and week. Brennan, let's go to that board.
Yeah, unlimited opportunities today and coming up throughout the remainder of the week as well for earnings names. Guys, thanks once again for everyone who stuck around through that little technical issue we were having this morning. We dropped data completely, so we had no quotes, we had no charts, we had nothing to show you. So we appreciate you sticking around with us. Let's throw that up, guys, and have a look at what's coming up after market tonight and before the open tomorrow. Wow.
Yeah, I can't really see anything to trade on there. I'm not sure if there's any names that we like on there, but yeah, just kidding. GE and Microsoft and AMD, we already had AMD today, so we could take that off. I mean, they were supposed to report, so good call on that one. But I'm actually really, we don't trade GE too much, but to be honest with you, I'm most excited about GE on there. I think Microsoft will be fine, but they generally go down off earnings, so watch out for some of these tech plays. Hog making a nice move to the downside. We're now positive on the name. But yeah, UPS, big mover. I don't know, anything catching your eye?
Overstocks on there. I think we can watch that as well. And obviously, I think you were looking at Boeing today. I think that usually is solid for a catalyst. Probably Overstock is the only one that you didn't mention that I might be having a look at. So it's a busy earnings board. Obviously, I think the way to go about approaching it is narrow down your list. Don't overtrade. There's going to be a lot of movers and gappers tomorrow based on that. So you want to make sure that you're not overextending yourself and then getting into too many positions. And just try to limit. It's not limiting yourself. It's just going with the plan of action and not overtrading, because that can get you into a little bit of trouble. I think we teased that we should have something special for you guys on Friday. Halloween is Saturday. And I think we're getting a little ahead of the game with our national day, because if what I see is correct, it's a little bit related to that. So before we get out of here, one thing left to do, and you know what it is. What national day is it, Valeria?
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. And thank you for all the support. Guys, go watch our next educational video, the link I'm sending on the chat. And before you leave, please hit subscribe and smash the like button if you haven't yet. And happy National Black Cat, everyone.
Yeah, I knew that. That actually looks like my cat. My cat is extremely handsome black cat. I'll show you. I'll put it on Twitter after. It's actually very similar to that cat. We love our animals in my household. So shout out to William, the best black cat I've ever seen.
There you go. And like we said, it's going to be a Halloween theme for you guys. Probably we'll drop a few of our special treats that we have on our board as we go throughout the rest of the week. But it should be an interesting one. Obviously, we talk about the earnings. You're going to get some bigger ones a little bit later on in the week as well. So just keep ear to the ground. Of course, we're still waiting on Alphabet, which I think is on Thursday as well. I don't know why it always has to be my mug. It is what it is. But you're going to want to check this one out. Of course, we trade with direct market access here, and we get a lot of questions about it as a lot of retail traders are watching the show. What's the difference? What are the advantages? What are some things that you can learn from people who have direct market access? So all that and more, check out our Market Wisdom page. Valeria has already dropped the link for this educational video, which is released today. So as always, keep giving us those good suggestions. Let us know what you want to learn about, and we will do our best to fulfill all of your needs when it comes to educational content and, of course, live trading content. It's been a good one. We don't usually get out of here, and of course, on time. But I would want to apologize. Of course, we had that mishap in the morning with our trading systems. I just want to let you guys know we all traded through this. Whether it's going to another source that you have for the charting, execution was still up. It's about having a plan of action. If you have stop orders, if you have areas that you already like, stick to those. I try not to overtrade in that situation, but real life happens. It doesn't make a difference. The market's not stopping for anybody, so make sure you have a plan B or C, whatever it might be. We're able to do it here. I'm glad we're able to show you that we're still able to live trade even without the moving quotes on our platform. I think it's a great and fantastic look for all of us, but we got to get out of here. Down the line, thank you, Valeria. Thank you, my man, Sean Katina. Brendan Wickens, as always, thank you for that. The nice look on WEI, which is the big-time mover that you guys should all be watching in the afternoon. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. See you tomorrow, guys.